they're meant to fly. Planes, they ain't supposed to fall from the sky. But if they do, they'll leave behind more than a piece or two. Planes just be flying, I know you think I'm lying. The USA, they be hiding the truth, and I ain't buying. Planes, they're meant to fly. Planes, they ain't supposed to fall from the sky. But if they do, they'll leave behind more than a piece or two. They'll leave behind more than I know you think I'm lying. The USA, they be hiding the truth, and I ain't buying. Planes, they're meant to fly. Planes, they ain't supposed to fall from the sky. But if they do, they'll leave behind more than a piece or two. Planes just be flying, I know you think I'm lying. The USA, they be hiding the truth, and I ain't buying. Rolls like Reddit trolls while Ashton gets education. Real evidence points to facts about the plane with Malaysian. Macroscopic phase conjugation. Macroscopic phase conjugation. It's the end of the world and all of its technological civilization. They can't walk right out of the sky to an unknown destination. Rewriting laws will drop the jaws of humankind stagnation. Macroscopic phase conjugation. Macroscopic phase conjugation. Atoms, files, and physics laws can lead to teleportation. Martini glass, don't forget to smash the like button on occasion. The engineers that disappeared, they didn't go on vacation. Macroscopic phase conjugation. Macroscopic phase conjugation. It's the end of the world and all of the technological civilization. Let's get walls right out of the sky to an unknown destination. Rewriting laws will drop the jaws of humankind stagnation. Macroscopic phase conjugation. Macroscopic phase conjugation. Macroscopic phase conjugation. Macroscopic phase conjugation.
Hello, hello, hello! Welcome. I'm your host, Ashton Forbes, rocking my new shirts. We're looking good tonight, chat. We're partying. We are celebrating, guys. This has been what a journey. Holy shit, what a journey, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for being here early. I appreciate it. Everybody on X, everybody on YouTube right now watching, man, just thank you. Thank you for being here. It's absolutely incredible what we've been able to do as a cohesive unit. People that have been following along, sharing the information, finding out new information that I didn't even know was out there. And we had that happen again today. That's why we're in such a good mood right now. That's why we're partying. Although I'm not drinking tonight, but we're just hanging out and chilling. Holy crap. I can't believe it, guys. I was just getting ready and I was just sitting there going, how the hell is this all real? How in the hell were just some random social media people able to reveal the biggest conspiracy in the history of the world? Biggest conspiracy in the history of the world. Anti-gravity, just space-time manipulation. Like literally just random people figured it out. It didn't come from any of these UFO celebrities or anything like that. We just figured it out through a crowdsourced investigation on social media, on X, Twitter. Nobody in the world could have ever expected this. Never. I just can't believe it, man. 10 years later after the plane disappears, we have, more evidence than any court case ever, I think. We have what constitutes as absolute proof, and we're going to go over that tonight. That's why I jumped on early on the investigation. And of course, as Joe just pointed out here in the chat, this is just the beginning. Even just solving the case of MH370 is just the beginning, because then we have bigger questions to ask, like Where the hell did this technology come from? How long have we been hiding this? And what does this mean about the nature of our reality in general? This is absolutely incredible. And let's just opine a little bit about how we got here. Let's be thankful to whatever whatever you believe in, whether it be God, whether it be some spiritual understanding that you have. Let's be thankful for being here right now. I just want to appreciate all the time that I have left on Earth with everybody else that I've met and discovered along the course of this investigation. Because holy crap, this is really, really, really big, guys. Wow, I'm just blown away. Life is honestly stranger than fiction. So, how are we going to start tonight? Let's start by looking at the videos once again. I think that we can't look at the videos often enough. People that have just been catching up on this investigation, if you just joined us recently over the last few weeks, it never ceases to amaze me how much stuff gets uncovered. I guess the way I want to start is, first of all, I want to shout out to the person who made that new song, The Ether Bunny. The Ether Bunny, thank you very much for making that rock song. We now have three songs that are all really good about MH370, which is amazing. After that, I want to thank Bobby O. Bobby O put together this video on YouTube today. Somebody sent me the video in our Discord and said to take a look at this. And I started watching it, and I realized when I'm watching his video, I'll pull it up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I have to separate it out so you guys can hear the sound. So I'm watching the video and I'm realizing he's talking about, he had pinged me asking me for some information about the evidence and what have you. And then he pinged me a while back saying he wants to get involved and he wants to look at the case and he wanted to listen to the debunkers and what their arguments were. And he realized right away the debunkers didn't have any valid arguments and that their arguments were all based on a false methodology that they were using in terms of comparing some VFX to the videos. And so he started engaging them. I don't have any formal connection to him. He's just one of the followers who decided to get along. I'll share the link to the video so you guys can watch yourself. I've already posted it on Twitter, so you can check it out yourself. And I started watching the video here, and he starts going through the data here. Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 satellite data released after long wait. Tuesday, May 27th, 2014. So it looks like I was off by one day. 27th, not the 28th. But either way, why is this day important? The MH370 videos did not get published until May 19th, 2014. That is 9 days,
Really all I'm doing,
8 or 9 days before the raw telemetry data was released. So the satellite video was published before the raw telemetry. Not even the experts knew where this plane was before this date. I have Mike Exner, who's actually quoted in one of these articles, saying that he did not even know if the data was legit until June when he flew out to Inmarsat or something to look at the data himself. So I'm not going to go through all of Bobby's video here. You guys can watch it. It's only 12 minutes long. But the part that I want to get to is, where does he mention it? Yeah, about right here. I'm just gonna guess. I think this is about the right time.
Public and from the families, even though they were demanding. And you have to take it to
yeah, this is what we're gonna watch.
The plane went missing and gathering information. So Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, satellite data released after long wait. This was May 27, 2014. So this was over 2 months after the plane went missing. Data from communications between satellite and missing airlines flight 370 was released Tuesday, more than 2 months after relatives of passengers say they requested that to be made public. It's very important. That's important context to the broader story. This data was withheld from the public and from the families, even though they were demanding.
So just like what he said there, first big thing was that the public and the families had demanded this data for months, and they wouldn't release the data. They refused to release the data for months. Of course, it's because they were covering up what really happened on this plane. It's the only explanation. People could have literally been in the in the ocean, on some island somewhere, on a raft or whatever. And this data would have been crucial to saving those people's lives. And they didn't release the data. And it's obvious why. Because the United States government took the plane and they needed to develop a cover story. So they didn't release the data to the families. The families were demanding it. We have Sarah Bach, the girlfriend of American passenger Philip Wood, literally quoted in here saying, why did they have to massage the data? Why were they waiting so long to release the data? You have to be an absolute idiot or just completely naive to not realize that this plane was taken by the United States and covered up. It's the amount of proof is overwhelming at this point.
You have to take into account the amount of chaos and confusion that was happening in the first 30, 60 days of this whole situation, and how it wasn't normal at all, and why it's largely considered one of the great mysteries in modern aviation. But criticism quickly emerged, suggesting that the information provided lacks important elements that would help outside experts put the official version of events to the test.
So as we're going to see here, and hi, Ruby Pearl, appreciate you. So some people out there, like Ruby, for example, were very skeptical when I was coming out originally, because I mean, I'm making pretty insane claims, to be honest with you, that these videos are real, etc. And then once they've looked at the strong evidence, then they realize like, oh, this guy's not messing around. This guy's like conducting a real investigation here. And for those people, it's not too late as well. For the people that are on the debunker train that think these videos are fake, it's not too late for you to turn a new leaf and admit you were wrong and get on the train of solving the mystery. What Bobby did right here is why early on I wanted other people to look into the case, because he found evidence that I just completely overlooked, that we completely overlooked as a group. This is why I wanted other people to try to solve the case. This is why the debunkers wouldn't try to solve the case. Because if the debunkers had actually gone out and tried to solve the case, they would have found this additional corroborating evidence that proves the videos to be real. They've never been trying to solve the case. This is why, in addition to the evidence that I put forth yesterday related to debunkers, nothing the debunkers should say should be considered with any level of credibility whatsoever. They are willing to lie. They are willing to fabricate fake evidence, as we're going to talk about later tonight as well. The debunkers, one in particular, Mick West, has fabricated 3 fake debunks around this plane, including one that predates the investigation by nearly 10 years. All of the debunkers are linked directly to Mick West. I will be formally accusing him of criminal conspiracy later on in this, and recommending that he face criminal charges for what he did to try to cover up these videos and make these videos go away, along with anyone who is a co-conspirator with him as well. I think the Department of Justice should be looking into all of the money he's ever made, who's been paying him the money, and who's been paying him to lie about these videos and lie about what happened to MH370. It is absolutely disturbing how evil the people that have been trying to debunk this case are, and they should be ashamed of themselves, 100%. The people that tried to solve it, like Bobby, people that come into the case with an open mind, that go look at the evidence themselves and find new evidence like this, they're the real heroes of this investigation. This is what we've needed for months and months and months. So once again, Bobby, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. And what was this? Blaze says, I've been here since day one, brother. This is it. No more lies. No more debunkers. It's time to show the world they cannot hide this information anymore. Glory to the people. Amen, brother. Amen. Yeah, we're not going to be entertaining any more bullshit debunk stuff. I've already made posts about the various debunks that are out there. If you guys want to see my comments on them, you can go to that. I won't be addressing more of that stuff in the future, unless there's some new update related to it. It's obvious that those debunks have been falsified and fabricated to cover up these videos. The proof the videos are real is undeniable, completely undeniable. Unless you think that the person that hoaxed these videos that never came out for $150,000 has psychic abilities and precognition, and somehow also Inmarsat just conveniently forgot to post the 5 hours of data after the plane's getting warped out of the sky. You have to be completely delusional to think that the videos aren't real at this point, regardless of how crazy it is. I mean, like, it's actually significantly more crazy to think that this was a suicidal pilot that crashed into the South Indian Ocean without leaving a debris field than it is that the United States government has warp technology. That's where we're at now with how strong the evidence is. It's more insane, takes more of a conspiracy to believe that than it takes to just believe that we literally have magical technology. That's how powerful the evidence is. So here we go.
That's important. So data was, one, withheld from them. Two, once it was released, it withheld important information that would have helped experts test the official story. That's from CNN from May of 2014. Now, what are they talking about? They're talking about the Inmarsat data. And if you want to look at the Inmarsat data, you can go to this very article and download it, because that's what I did. Now,
so right away here too, he went to the article and downloaded it, and I was confused because he was messaging me the other day, and he said, "Hey, is there anything else I'm missing?" So I sent him. He said, "Where can I find the evidence?" So I sent him the link to Victor Ilanello's blog, which has the raw data on it. And I was confused because I was watching this clip earlier, and I'm like, "Wait, he's not looking at Victor Ilanello's blog." And I realized he was looking at the raw data from, or not the raw data, but the telemetry data that they released on May 28th. And I went, wait a minute, because you're about to hear something very interesting.
Let's go over the general timeline here in the flight path. So the flight took off at 1641 UTC. Flight goes dark about 40 minutes in because it turns back around. So right here, it takes off, turns back around, and then it kind of veers out here into the Malacca Strait. All right. Now, on the Inmarsat data, there is about 25 rows of data.
So he misstated 25 rows of data way here. What he means is 25 pages of data. It's not 25 rows. It's 25 pages full of data. So it's a very, very big difference. Now, that's fine. He misstated the terms here. I was confused because he said 25 rows, and I was like, wait, no, there's way more than that. It's 25 pages of data from before the flight took off, around 1600 UTC until 1840 UTC. There's 25 pages of data
over the first 2 hours or so.
And again, that 25 pages of data is just the first 2 hours of the flight. So 2 hours of the flight up till 1840 UTC, 25 pages of rows of data, 25 pages.
And then 2 hours in, the data stops reporting for 4.5 hours.
Once I heard that, I went, wait, what? At 2 hours in, for 4.5 hours, the data just stops reporting. And I went, wait a minute. Really? I thought that the telemetry data they released on May 28th had the time between 1940 and 2313. I thought it had it in there. It just slipped my mind. I didn't think to even just look at it and scroll down and see. When I heard this, I went, wait a minute. Is that right? Or did he mistake that? So I went and looked at myself. Yeah, Woe is right, Jay. Woe is right. I went and looked at it myself, guys. I'm going to flip over real quick to show you. Let's look at it ourselves here. So I don't want anybody to be confused about this. We have absolute proof these videos are real. No denying it whatsoever. It's game over. Let's go ahead and share the other screen. And this one's not going to have sound. Okay. So this is the article that I linked to. Okay. You guys can find it yourself. It's some CNN dog shit. But here's the link right at the top. Malaysian authorities published a 47-page document. This is the telemetry data that was previously unknown. The date on this article near the top here, May 27th, 2014. Again, the first video was published May 19th, 8 days before this article was even written. Okay. And here it is. Here's the data. So I looked at it, May 27th. So I've got the wrong day by 1 day, whatever. You guys get the point. Point is that it was published after the videos, like over a week after the videos. Now I started scrolling through it, and you can see right away. So this is not 25 rows. This is 25 pages of data, maybe even more than 25 pages. Look at this. Let me zoom it in a little bit. Can I make this bigger, or what's the deal here? Here we go. Yeah, let's go like this. There you guys. Okay. Here we go. Now you can see. And I'll zoom it in more. We don't need to see the right side. We don't really care. What we want to see is this time over here on the left. Okay. We care about this time on the left. 1630. This is when the plane pulls back. Look how many rows, pages of data there are. I think maybe he meant 25 pages from when the plane took off. Plane takes off at 1642 UTC. This is when the plane's taking off right here. Look at how much data there is. It goes on and on and on and on and on. 25 pages of data. 1707. 1707. The plane goes dark at 1721. Here's the last acknowledged message right here. They say that sometime link lost sometime between here and 1803 UTC. So they don't even know how the data was lost here. They can't explain anything of what's going on. 1805 UTC, 1828, 1827, data still good. Now, oh, wait, where there, maybe I'm wrong actually. Hold on. This is where the handshake response is right here. This is actually, it looks like I'm incorrect. They actually do have the data right here. This is the data here, though, that you can see that there is just this handshake request. Now, if we scroll down here, though, I'm not sure why that's mistaken here, because the raw data right here, as it goes down here, just cuts right off. So 1840 UTC, here's where it cuts off right here. And then you can see right after that, the next link is 2314. So this data here actually is where we don't know what's going on. The data just stops right here. So I'm guessing that this is some kind of like the handshake request, but it doesn't connect or something like that. So we can see that information right here, 1941. So at 1840, it just stops. And then now, what does this say right here? The C channel and two P channel messages moved into separate table below to ease the reading of events. C channel message has no BTO values. So these messages here has no BTO values. And so this is the part where these 10 rows of data right here, there's no explanation for them whatsoever. They actually have a completely different channel, 10-4, 10-4, 10-4 right here, compared to everything beforehand that we see, where we can see it's just everything is completely solid data. And so this is what I think he noticed as well, is that when you look at this data here, there's just this complete cutoff between 1840 UTC and 2313. Now, the proposed answer here is that they fabricated those 10 rows of data, that they manipulated them, that this is where the plane disappears at 1840 or right after 1840, and that at 2314, this plane's in Diego Garcia or, somewhere else, wherever the hell it is, 5 hours later. And the reason why this is compelling is because this is when it lines up with the sighting in the Maldives, like 4 or 5 hours later in the morning. So completely nuts that the person somehow knew that this data here in terms of the location of the plane matches up the real location of the plane in the Nicobar Islands, where none of the experts had figured out. Now let's look back and watch what he was saying just there.
There's a 4.5 hour gap between the next reported data at 23:40.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I get what he's saying. So he's saying those 10 rows of data aren't sending all the information. So this is what I had figured out before as well. So this is why when I made my post on Twitter, I had already posted about this weird 10 rows of data there that aren't sending full data anymore.
14 UTC.
When I confronted all of the experts about this, they wouldn't give me any answers other than they just kept saying it's normal. It's normal. It's normal. It's obviously not normal. There's obviously something that happened at 1840 UTC. You guys just saw the 25 pages of data. And then there's just this weird thing where they're like, oh, handshake request for the next 5 hours. And then the crazy part is the data comes back again. After that, 2313, now all of a sudden, data is reading fully again. So there's this like either log on, log off, whatever is happening here. Something happens between 1840 and 2314. And this just coincidentally enough is the time when the plane supposedly was flying in the South Indian Ocean in a straight line. Well, obviously, that's just a lie because we look down in the location where those pings would indicate, and there's nothing there. There's nothing at all there. In addition to this, it's weird because I think he's going to show it. Actually, this one doesn't have it. There's supposed to be a 0009 ping. Yeah. It's very weird. There's like a 0009 or a 0019 supposed ping, which shouldn't be possible because they weren't receiving like the full data at that point. And we'll look at that in a sec. But let's go back to his post. Let's watch the rest of this.
And so this data was withheld from the public for over 2 months. And then when it was released, it was heavily criticized because there's this 4.5-hour period where there's nothing. Now, the official story and the official flight path that was told to the public, this is what was told in the first 30 days that the plane went missing. Plane took off, turned around, drove off down here south into the Indian Ocean, and that was it. That was what was told to the public. That was the official story. Okay. Now, Inmarsat data reports for 2 hours, it's 25 pages of reporting data, and then all of a sudden, 2 hours in, there's a 4.5-hour gap. Why is that important? Well, that's important because where was this flight at 2 hours into the flight? Per the official flight path, where was the flight? Where was this plane at? The plane would have taken off 40 minutes in, turned around, veered off here into the Malacca Strait. And about 2 hours into the flight, they would have been somewhere in this general area. Okay. Why does that matter? Well, in the satellite video, that there's a lot of interesting things about these coordinates if you start really examining them. One, the NROL 22. So this hoaxer would have had to have known that this is an.
Yeah. And so then he starts talking about the stuff that we've talked about here, the NRL 22.
American
Let's just listen to the rest of
satellite.
it.
Two, they would have accurately placed this plane in the Nicobar Islands. This is 8, this is 8, this is 3, 4, 3, 0, 1, 9, 3, 1, 9. You had to learn how to differentiate between a 2 and a 3 and an 8 and a 9. You can differentiate between the 8 and the 9 because the 8, the top circle is smaller. Okay. This video, the satellite video, the coordinates in the bottom left-hand corner put this plane in a general sense in the Nicobar Islands when it just vanishes in the video. And in all reality, that's what the public was told about MH370, that it vanished, right? So this video takes place per the coordinates near the Nicobar Islands. And the Nicobar Islands is the exact same general area where the plane would have been per the official flight path when there's all of a sudden 4.5 hours of missing data from Inmarsat that was withheld from the public for 2 months. And then it was heavily criticized after it was released because experts couldn't put the official version of the story to the test.
Perfect. Okay, so right as he said there, this data was held from the public for 2 months, and then it starts getting heavily criticized because nobody can put the data to the test. No one can understand why all this information is missing on there. It makes no sense whatsoever. Now, let me go to the Twitter post about it next. Okay, and if you guys want to check that out, there's a link to that on my Twitter page as well, so you guys can see for yourself how sketchy the situation is. Let's start by looking at the pinned, the quoted tweet that I put on here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is the quoted tweet on the phony Inmarsat data. I want to start with this one because this is one of my older posts. But we found some conversations where Mike Exner had said that they couldn't fit the data to fit the northern southern routes. He actually ends up replying in this post, claiming that he never said that. And then I showed him an exact quote from him, which was really awkward. And then he basically said that he had ended up admitting that he didn't know if the data was real until June of 2014, which again means there's no way the hoaxer could have any idea in May. And then he went quiet. And all of these people have gone, all of these supposed independent group fake experts have all gone quiet because the evidence has become overwhelming and undeniable. Let's see. The Inmarsat VP said this disclaimer about the data was good if it hadn't been spoofed. The Inmarsat engineer, Alan Schruce-Brewster, told the BBC they were concerned someone was playing a hoax on Inmarsat. Victor was given the raw data in 2017 by one of the family members. That's when we got to see it for ourselves without Inmarsat having, been in the middle of it. Let's see. There's some direct quotes. Here's another direct quote as well, just in case you think I'm lying about what I said. We have all these direct quotes from these guys as well. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Experts who have analyzed the report say that it is riddled with inconsistencies and the data presents to justify its conclusion appear to have been fudged. This was from the original link to they had this like graph. The graph made no sense whatsoever. No one could figure it out. And here's the quote from Mike Exner again, direct quote. He found, however, no matter how he tried, he could not get the values to match those implied by the possible routes shown on page 3 in the annex. They look like cartoons to me, was what Mike Exner said. And then here's the direct quote from Mike Exner right here. Neither the northern or southern predicted routes make any sense. Direct quote from Mike Exner. He was one of the experts. Now, this was the data that I showed people. Supposedly these zeros here were the phone call. So also they call the plane at 1839 UTC and they claim they don't get a response, which this is part of the reason why the Malaysian Minister of Defense has nothing to say regarding why they didn't track. Like they knew the plane wasn't hostile. They didn't send up jets about it. Why did they only call the plane at 1839 UTC, like an hour and a half after the plane goes missing? And then they call it one more time at 2313 in between the missing data. The data is full and complete here until then. And then here, and this is from Victor's blog in 2017. This is the raw data, not the Inmarsat stuff. And this is where you can see 1840 UTC. Again, there's like 25, 30 pages of data before this. Now, all of a sudden, there's just these 10 rows. You look at these 10 rows of data, and sorry for the low resolution here, and you can see the very clear pattern change in this data. You can see that the channel just goes 10-4, 10-4, 10-4 here, and then that's it. Compared to before and after this, the data is full and complete. It's completely undeniable. It's clearly something happened around 1840 UTC that nobody's been able to explain. Anybody that looks at any kind of data in general should be able to pick that out. Now, if we go back to the new post, okay, and I may have to correct some of this because this seems to be the appendix, although it does have the P channel in here, so I'm not sure why they put this in the appendix, but it shows the data complete before and after those 10 rows here. And this was the call here. It looks like the C channel call. So I may have to correct this and post new screenshots. But when we look at this article here, and maybe I'll just pull up the real article. Maybe that's the best thing to do here. Yeah, let's just pull up the real article. I want you guys to see how bonkers this article is. Can I not get this thing on the top to go away? I can't, huh? Okay, whatever. Okay, now it says they released this article, and then people start, there's some quotes in here as well that are just incredible. Mike Exner, there's Mike Exner right there. He was calling for the release of the data to answer a few questions, many questions unanswered. There's not enough information whether to say they made an error. I think we're going to have to be looking for more. So this is already May 27th, already quoted saying there's not enough answers here. So even after they released this data, the experts still didn't know how to interpret it. They still didn't understand why it was incomplete. You shouldn't. This is the craziest clip right here. Read this direct quote. You shouldn't read anything into the gaps in the data. Inmarsat Senior Vice President Chris McClellan told CNN Aaron Burnett out front on Tuesday. This is a very goodwill and focused way that we are trying to communicate our best impression of what happened. This is obviously complete bullshit because they could have released the data 2 months before this, but they didn't. And it's not goodwill at all. You've got a huge gap in your data from 1840 UTC to 2313 UTC and no explanation whatsoever that makes any sense at all. Why does the data stop at 1840? Why does the data restart at 2313? No explanation is given. Nothing that makes any sense whatsoever. Here's Sarah Bach, whose partner, Philip Wood, was on the missing jet. She was annoyed that Inmarsat and Malaysian authorities hadn't released everything they used to reach their conclusions. I see no reason for them to have massaged this before giving it to us. So, of course, they were massaging the data. They were trying to make sure they couldn't get caught. They were trying to make sure that when anyone looks at the data, they're going to not be able to figure out that there's some videos on the internet that prove what happened to the plane. Yeah, this is literally the opposite of good faith. Selectively releasing data at a later time is the exact opposite of good faith, by definition. So, and then down here it says the satellite handshakes, blah, blah, blah. They claim that the satellite handshakes continued to take place, but we have no data for the 4.5 hours of missing information on there. So here's somebody else who is a family member. I think far too much has been left to experts who have remained behind the curtain. Says, I'm going to probably butcher his name, so I'm not going to say it here, but it says this guy here whose wife was on the plane. And this is the part too. The experts that supposedly massaged this data, they never made themselves publicly available. They just said, oh, we're going to have some secret experts reveal the data, and then we'll have these independent group people. They basically tricked the independent group people like Victor Ilanello and Mike Exner, who are like CNN brain type people. They put on a show for them. Mike Exner told us he went and visited Inmarsat multiple times. They convinced Inmarsat that this stuff was real when obviously it had been fabricated. And this was how they were able to get like experts out. This is how the intelligence community works, right? Is they convince innocent, useful idiots to push the information out there for other people. And that's what gives it the appearance of having authenticity to it. This is the same thing they did with the cloud picture that they fabricated to the guy Jonas as well. Jonas was just probably a useful idiot. And that picture came from the original satellite video, probably before it was even recorded. And they pushed that and they made this guy think that he took a picture and had him put a debunk out there. It's the same play over and over and over again. They did the exact same bullshit to these guys. And anyone can see through it that just reads for themselves. It's undeniable. Yes, to a high degree of probability, we are certain that our data is right. This is the same guy that just a second ago claimed that you shouldn't read into the gaps in the data. With a high degree of probability, we are certain that our data is right. What? What do you mean with a high degree of probability? I mean, the data is the data, right? It shouldn't be a matter of if it's right or not. It should just be like, here's the data. There you go, right? Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, these useful idiots are incredible, man. And like the fact that Redditors are so stupid that they latched on to these stupid stories and didn't use any critical thinking whatsoever. This is the problem with humans in general, but definitely Redditors, is that they don't do any thinking for themselves at all. Like, I don't think Redditors have ever had an original thought. I think they're just literally NPCs that just believe whatever they're told at face value and assume that some magical expert will do the thinking for them. Like, this is why we're in this situation to begin with. If you look at the MH370 subreddit, which is the one that was the original subreddit for this case, you find all the independent group people on it. Victor Ilanello's on there, Mike Exner's on there. They're all just morons. And they were just promoting bullshit to masses of additional morons. This is why we had invented this completely fabricated, stupid story that has no evidence whatsoever for some kind of pilot suicide scenario with no debris field and no plane found. Like, no common sense whatsoever. None at all, like you guys pointed out. So here's Mark Dickinson yet. This is the best part. No one has come up with a reason yet for why it shouldn't work with this particular flight when it hasn't worked with others. Well, we have them on record in terms of there being another scenario where the plane was actually on the ground and their data said the plane was in the air. So that's a pretty good reason why it might not be accurate. Is there's a literal another scenario out there where the plane was on the ground when they claimed it was in the air as well. It's very important that this isn't just an Inmarsat activity. There are other people doing investigations, experts who are helping the investigative team who have got the same data. Well, That's the whole point. It's all the same data. Everybody's working off the same faulty data. That doesn't make it any more credible. The data was never corroborated. So this data that you guys are looking at here was never corroborated by a third-party source. There was no other satellite communication people that said, oh, we've got some satellite data that corroborates that. No, this data is completely uncorroborated. All the same people are working off all the same falsified data. And this is how they trick people into thinking that it has some reputability to it. As if they, well, 5 people all came to the wrong conclusion off the wrong data. That doesn't make it right. It makes it just all those people were wrong. They made their own models and came up and did the same thing. Yeah, well, you're making models off of a faulty data set. It's pretty simple, basic logic. We have actually the messages from the ground station to the plane and back again. That essentially tells you the terminal is switched on and powered up. We have some timing information in addition to the frequency measurement. Yeah, except for the 4.5 hours where all the data is missing. Other than that, it's great. In fact, the data up till 1840 is probably legit. That's when the plane's getting warped out of space by 3 orbs from the United States government, filming it on 2 military cameras from 2 different perspectives in perfect synchronization with no discrepancies on a single frame. Let's see. Okay, now here's some more stuff. This is all the data we have for what happened in those 6 hours or so. So they're claiming this is all the data they have. And then Richard Quest comes in. It's up to the detractors and doubters to come up and say why they believe it's wrong, not the other way around. I couldn't agree more, Richard Quest. Absolutely, it's up to us to come up with why we believe it's wrong. You want to know why we believe it's wrong? Because we have 2 videos of the plane disappearing out of space-time. This is why we believe the data is wrong. I mean, mostly it's right, but up until 1840, when the data cuts off, that's where we have some doubts now. We have some doubts because all you're showing us is 10 rows of data that has no substance to it whatsoever, like at all. So here is, where is it? This is why we have doubts, because we've got coordinates in the bottom left of this video that say the Nicobar Islands. We've got an eyewitness that sees the plane consistent with this plane right here at the exact same time. And we have a Chinese-only reported Mayday call also at the same time. So we've got 3 independent corroborations of this data. This data, this video we're looking at here, has more independent corroboration than the satellite pings that the Inmarsat data has pushed out. Crazy. So again, it doesn't matter how impossible it seems what you believe with what you see with your eyes. What matters is what the data and the facts show. The data and the facts show that no one could have possibly known to put the plane in this location on March 19th or before March 19th in the window in which somebody would have had to produce these videos. The data was only publicly released May 27th, May 28th, 8 to 9 days after this video was already published on the internet. The counter argument seems to be that somebody just guessed the right location of the plane. They just guessed it. Out of all the locations to put the plane, they could have hoaxed this video, put it in the South China Sea. They could have hoaxed this video, putting it in the South Indian Ocean. But no, they hoaxed the video in the one location where the data from Inmarsat stops. What an incredible coincidence. If this was a court of law with respect to a murder trial, that would be absolute. That would be considered absolute proof. In fact, Alex Murdaugh was convicted of murder for less evidence than this. They didn't even get it narrowed down that tight. So, what are the other quotes that it says? Okay, and then here's some more quotes. We'll watch this thing go down. Let's watch it get warped away again, guys. With science that was previously publicly unknown to anybody when this video was published, nobody even knew what a magnetic monopole was or what it should look like, and we're seeing it in the orbs. Yeah, the signal probably stops because this plane gets warped away somewhere else. Like, that's the reason why the data disappears. Like, that should be pretty obvious. That's why we can say this plane's probably being warped away at 1840 UTC, or within 5 or 10 minutes, most likely, because that's why the data is stopping. The next supposed handshake we have, handshake request, is at 1941 all of a sudden, over an hour later. So let's go back to this one. Okay, so then it says, Again, Sarah was once again saying that they asked for the data more than 2 months ago. They wanted the data back in March, and they should have gotten the data back in March. There's literally no excuse. If all you have is some rows on an Excel spreadsheet, I write audits. I can write SQL, guys. I could write this audit in under 24 hours that they showed, and I could have released it to the families on March 9th, 2014, one day after the plane disappeared. So why are they waiting until May 27th, 2014 to release the data? It seemed like a relatively innocent request, she said, but the authorities refused to release it. Why would the authorities refuse to release data that could be saving people's lives, that could be solving the puzzle? The answer is simple. They had to invent a narrative, and they had to be absolutely 100% sure that nobody was going to find some issue with the data. And they had to be sure that no matter who interpreted that data, that they would interpret it as the plane going to the location where they've pushed the narrative. Because if they had pushed a narrative somewhere else and the data was not able to be calculated in a way that could lead to that conclusion, then the whole thing would have fallen apart. That's the only reason why they would wait to release the data. There's no other possible logical explanation. Nobody's given a logical explanation for why they waited to release the data at all. None at all. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So here's another quote from Inmarsat. We shared the information we had, and it's for the investigation to decide when and where it pans out. Oh, here we go. Malaysian officials told CNN earlier this month that their government did not have the data. What? Malaysian officials in May told CNN that they didn't have the data. So how were they able to conclude that the plane ended in the South Indian Ocean if the Malaysian officials didn't even have the data? And then Inmarsat contradicts them and says that the company supplied all of the data to the officials at an early stage in the search. So literally the two sides, Inmarsat and Malaysia, were also contradicting one another in the early months. And I remember this from 10 years ago. People that were alive back then probably remember this as well. Malaysian officials had told them they didn't have the data from Inmarsat, and then Inmarsat comes out later and says, no, we did release it to you early on, which obviously they didn't because it wasn't publicly available. Pretty crazy, right? They literally can't keep their lies in order. This is the best part, is that people say that I'm a liar, but I've been streaming every single night, and I've got 80 podcasts or so under my belt, and all they have to do is try to find the lie, and no one can find any lies. I can find lies from everybody out there. All the debunkers I catch lying. I catch the Malaysian Minister of Defense lying. We catch Malaysian officials lying. We catch Inmarsat lying. It's crazy. We catch the independent group lying. Literally everyone out there trying to cover this up, we can catch lying. Nobody can catch me lying somehow. Incredible. Okay. We are trying to be as transparent as possible. And then let's go look back at my post one more time. I think I want to make sure I didn't miss any quotes in here. CNN safety analyst David Sorsey said certain key elements which would allow independent experts to fully test the official conclusion are missing from the data in the document. Inmarsat CEO Rupert Pearce acknowledged Tuesday that the company didn't release the model to which it applied to the data to estimate the plane's path. What? They didn't release the model they used to determine the plane's path? Is that normal, guys? Nothing about this is normal. Nothing about what they're saying here. I don't know. Like, I wish the debunkers would actually just try to debunk the fake bullshit here, because then they might have some credibility. How can anyone believe any of this bullshit that they were pushing? You shouldn't read anything into the gaps in the data. Just ignore the part between 1840 UTC and 2313, guys. It's totally normal. Just completely ignore that. Don't read into that. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Completely normal, everybody. Let's see. Sarah Box says they massaged the data. Oh, and for weeks, Inmarsat said it didn't have the authority to release the data. I must have skipped over that. Inmarsat said it didn't have the authority to release the data. Why would Inmarsat not have the authority to release their own data? Just think about that. What possible reason could there be for Inmarsat to not have the authority to release their very own data? I mean, they're a public company. There should be nothing that stops them from releasing their own data. The only reason why they wouldn't be able to release their own data is because the military stepped in and said, you can't release it because we need to fabricate it, falsify it. We need to come up with a story that has an argument that makes sense. This is why all the people in Jeff Wise's blog comments say that you can't trust the Inmarsat data. Yeah, CNN covered MH370 for 24 hours a day for nearly 3 weeks, pushing a false flag. It all felt like a narrated lie, repeating the same details over and over, just because that's what it was. In fact, I would be surprised if CNN was not being directed by the government and the intelligence agencies on what to report. It's completely wild. What was this post that Claire said? In the Netflix documentary, the Inmarsat guy looked close to tears because people were doubting the data, hurt his feelings. Obviously, a crying man can't be lying. Exactly. Oh, the MH370 documentary on Netflix is so garbage. It's so bad. It's just terrible, dude. Don't worry about me, guys. If anything happens to me, then you guys know that this stuff's real and that you guys will rise up. All the evidence has been made publicly available, so it's not like the evidence is going away. And for the record, if anything were to happen to me, no one should delete any of my content on Twitter. I want my content to stay on Twitter for all time. If anything happens to me, no one should delete any of it. I would never delete any of it, and I've never directed anyone to delete any of my content anywhere. Also, for the record, I have a backup storage location that has all of the investigative information as well. And I will set up something so that in the case of something happening to me, that information will be made publicly available, so that anyone can look through all of the research work that we've done and had out there. It includes damning information about all the debunkers who have tried to promote false debunks about the videos. All the records of their lies have been recorded as well for future use. So, yeah. Just wanted to let you guys know that that's out there, just so that people know. And these streams also are of course, should be considered record as well. Let's see. And then they say, this is all the data we have for what happened for those 6 hours or so. So they're just staying, they have no data except for these 10 rows of data between 1840 and 2313. I'm probably going to have to issue a correction on this, though. Well, still somewhat correct, but the part about Victor, I'm going to have to correct this part. Because the 10 rows of data were available in the original post. It's a little confusing the way they presented it. So I probably will issue a quick correction after we're done here on that part. But the summary of the argument still remains the same. That data is just not full at all. And you can see it right here again. This is the 25 rows of data, and this one actually has a link to, if you want to see the full raw data for yourself, you can scroll down, you can find it's dozens of pages, and then all of a sudden this is it. And then the data starts back up again at 2313, and it is full and complete again. Okay, I think that was any other quotes on there that I wanted to jump into. Okay, I think that's it on that. Great. Let's close this out. Sorry, I'm trying to see. Okay, also, and I've just because I promised some stuff last night, I promised some new clips. Probably going to do that after the stream, and I probably will only post some of those clips tomorrow, just because of how busy it's been for me today with my work and everything. It's been hard to juggle all this stuff going on. So this is what I'm going to say, because I don't want to be as rude as I was considering it. Actually, maybe I will. So tomorrow as well is going to be the Billy football interview is going to drop, and that's with Audio Crack. So you guys can check out the Audio Crack investigation video that I did with Billy. We answer pretty much all the questions that are out there. And one thing I bring up is the debunk attempts. So this is what I'm going to say right now. You know what I am going to say? Okay, here we go. So I am formally accusing Mick West, serial debunker, of criminal conspiracy cover-up related to MH370. Mick West is responsible for 3 fabricated debunks, not just into MH370, but also Mick West is responsible for 3 fabricated debunks, not just into the MH370 videos, but one of the 3 is also predates the investigation by years, where he falsely debunked the Philip Wood picture that appeared on 4chan. The debunks, specifically the VFX debunk pushed by Mick West on August 19th, 2014 or 2024. Oh, sorry. God damn. I'm gonna have to edit this. The VFX debunk pushed by Mick West on August 19th, 2023 was also used by the Corridor crew, the Lore Lodge, as well as other YouTubers to falsely claim that the MH370 videos had been debunked. None of those other sources came up with those debunks themselves. They all took them directly from Mick West. So Mick West fabricated a jittery contrails debunk where he falsely claimed that the smoke trails coming out of the plane were contrails. He falsely claimed that the smoke trails coming out of the plane were offset from the plane. This was due to the stabilization software, due to the fact that the smoke trails were slightly blue and it was being considered part of the background. This was conclusively proven when we converted the video to black and white and used the same stabilization capabilities to show that there is no jitteriness with the smoke trails whatsoever. Mick West lied about this, never issued a retraction on it, and never issued an apology for falsely trying to debunk the videos with a fabricated debunk. The VFX debunk, also pushed by Mick West, objectively does not match the MH370 videos. I have them on record admitting it in Twitter replies as well. Their argument and their assertion is that somebody changed around all the aspects of the asset, that they moved the pixels around to get it to be a pixel perfect match. This has literally objectively never been done to this asset ever before. It's been used in at least 5 major media, and this type of modification has never been done to it in any of them. It's not been done in the original Killing Time video game. It was not done in the Attack on Titan advertisement. It was not done in the movie Starship Troopers. It was not done in the movie Eastbound and Down, where the asset was slightly angled. And it was also not done in the movie Anchorman, where you can see this asset. None of these have ever had this asset modified in the way that debunkers have asserted. And as I said before, Mick West is also responsible for a Philip Wood EXIF data picture where he falsely claimed that the metadata in the EXIF data picture was not consistent with an iPhone 5 using a Picasso app. I previously showed technical analysis that proves that it is 100% consistent with an iPhone 5 using the Picasso app. Mick West is responsible for 3 of the 4 major debunks against the MH370 videos and the investigation. One man. You take that how you will. I recommend that the Department of Justice look into Mick West and his connection to anybody who is trying to make the MH370 videos disappear. And if it does turn out that he's been paid or somewhat coerced to debunk the case of MH370, he should face criminal prosecution for that. Also, just as a record out there, anyone else who's in a co-conspirator with Mick West who is trying to push this, they should also face criminal scrutiny as well by the Department of Justice, and they should be investigated. That includes Skeptical Inquirer, the magazine that supposedly pays Mick West for articles, and he's a fellow on this Skeptical Inquirer Institute or whatever it is. All of these should be investigated, because if these people are actually covering up criminal conspiracies for the United States government, then that is one of the worst crimes that somebody could commit. Okay. Yeah, the DOJ themselves probably wants the videos to disappear. Wouldn't surprise me, but that's okay. I just want to make sure that I have it on the record. So if in the future the videos are ever admitted to be real, that nobody can deny that I didn't formally accuse these people, because those are the people responsible. 100%. These are the people who have been responsible for it. And I want to show you guys right now as well the evidence for how these videos have been trying to be, how the intelligence community has tried to hide these videos. So I'm going to run through it with you right now so you can see. I'm not going to go through the debunk refute all the things I claimed on the debunk stuff. I'm probably going to try to edit those in later on. Real quick, let me thank some people. GP, thank you for the donation. GP, thank you for the second donation. You're looking at the priest of macroscopic phase conjugation with the white shirt. And I got my blue inlet in the thing as well. Pretty cool. And then I know Alethea. Anyone consider that they swapped out the planes so that they could place the real plane at the bottom of the ocean? Guys, I don't know how they're going to... I mean, if I'm the CIA, I'm thinking of a way to place a plane at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know how the hell you're going to pull that off. Like, you need to now, have somebody fly a Rogue 777 that's a Malaysian Airlines Rogue 777. You're going to go fly it into the ocean now? It's too late. They already searched everywhere. Even if we found the plane now, like, you're going to be able to tell that it wasn't down there for 10 years. 10 years, the plane's going to be covered with, like, sea life and shit like that. They're going to go down there, going to find a fresh plane at the bottom of the ocean. There's no chance. You also can't throw the debris down there because the only way that there couldn't have been a debris field is if the plane landed softly and slowly sank into the ocean. Otherwise, where are the bodies? Where's the luggage? Where's all the stuff that floated? It has to be down there intact at the bottom of the ocean. Are they going to find an intact Malaysian Airlines MH370 at the bottom of the ocean? Guys, if they find a perfectly intact Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 with sea life on it and bodies inside at the bottom of the South Indian Ocean, I'll be the first one to eat my hat. I'll literally eat my own hat. I'll just, whatever, I'll find a hat and I'll literally eat it with ketchup on it. There's just no way to pull that off. The better move would be that they try to take the videos that they have access to and edit out the orbs and then try to have somebody come forward as a fake hoaxer. Like, that's the better play. Like, they should try that. It's a little too late for that because they missed a $150,000 bounty. It's like, you got to have some pretty weird excuse for how you didn't hear about this. For the record as well, I have 170 million impressions over the last 9 months. 170 million. Just me, 170 million impressions. So you're going to have to do some real good excuses for why you haven't been made aware of these videos if you're a supposed hoaxer of the videos. And yeah, it's too late also to come up with new debunks as well. Like, what now? Some new debunk is going to appear after I've formally accused Mick West of criminal conspiracy. Yeah, good luck with that. You guys are under the most scrutiny you ever could be. And if we were to find any type of, we've already got him dead to rights on at least 2.5 fabrications. Unless Mick West claims he somehow doesn't know who Icy Slide is, the one-day-old Reddit account that posted the VFX the same day that Mick West found it in some obscure-ass 3DO video game within a couple hours. You better have some good excuses for the government on that one. Now, the other thing is the AARO has been ghosting me as well. So we gave the AARO absolute proof the videos are real. We gave them Edward C. Lin. We gave them the videos that they can corroborate, and AARO went completely dark. After they sent me the message saying that they found the U.S. government's search efforts after the plane went missing, they've completely ghosted me. They owed me the, whatever it's called, the memorandum of record. Sounds like a very official government thing. They owed me the memorandum of record back in January. They haven't even sent me the memorandum of record yet, because they don't want this to be on the AARO's report. They're trying to prevent the AARO is trying to prevent this MH370 case from going on their next official report. That's the only reason why they wouldn't have given me the memorandum of record yet. Because if they give me the memorandum of record, now I have absolute proof that they've been given this information. So until they give me that record, they're going to have plausible deniability that they're going to say, "Oh, well, we didn't know about it," but I have the emails. So if they don't start responding to me, I'm going to have to start releasing emails to the public, which I don't want to do, because the guy told me not to give his name out, but they are literally ghosting me about this when they've already found some preliminary evidence related to this plane and our surveillance capabilities. The government needs to come out and admit that we took the plane. Just do it. Just admit that we took the plane. We know it. Everybody here knows it. You're not even going to get in trouble. No one's going to hold these slimy assholes to account. It's never going to happen. Most Americans will just say that it was worth it anyway. So just admit that we took the plane so we can have this awesome technology and we can move into Star Trek world. Like, why the hell are we hiding this, man? It's time to man up. Okay, so now that we've addressed that, let's look at the evidence that this was fabricated. We're going to look at the evidence that the The debunks were fabricated, okay? Yeah, this is exactly it. So we call them criminal felons in public and force them to respond. List them individually and specifically. Absolute golden move, exactly. I'm literally accusing Mick West of criminal conspiracy directly. I'm accusing him of it 100%. I want them to respond. I want Mick West to respond to the allegations. I have absolute proof that he fabricated multiple fake debunks related to these videos, including one that predates this investigation, which I most likely will be posting later on. In fact, let's just show it right now for you guys, okay? I'm going to show you the first fabricated debunk from Mick West. I want to show you how the intelligence community operates and how they're hiding the videos. Because not only am I going to expose the videos, not only are we going to expose the technology, we're also going to expose how the disinformation apparatus hides stuff like this as well to the world. All three of those things we're going to do. And for the record, I said we would do these many, many, many months ago as well. All the stuff that I'm doing right now, I've already said that I would do. So I'm pulling up the link real quick so we can get it. If you guys want to follow along, you can look up my search history for Philip Wood. And this goes all the way back to like, oh crap, this is going to be hard to find, huh? I think it was called The Philip Wood Picture is Real. There it is. Got it. Okay. This got 122,000 views way back before when I didn't even have that many followers. Okay, here we go. I'm going to pull it up for you guys. I want you guys to see that I have the receipts as well. Oh, here we go. Why are you guys not seeing what I'm seeing here? Oh, this is the wrong one, that's why. Okay, now you guys are seeing it? Yeah, okay, we're seeing it. Yeah, Tony Adams, you're on the list too, buddy. Don't worry. We're going to get you too. I hope that's your real name, by the way. Tony Adams and these other guys who are like literally, there's people out there literally paying right now to push disinformation about me and about the case. Yeah, don't worry, man. Your name's going to be given to the DOJ as well. So you guys better pray to God that the CIA is dropping plane parts in the South Indian Ocean, because otherwise you're going to be trying to explain to the feds why you were working with Mick West, trying to hide these videos, why you were fabricating fake debunks so hard. It's going to be pretty damn awkward. Also, you're going to have to explain it to the world when everybody's looking for somebody to blame about covering up this plane, and nobody on the government side's taking blame for it as well. They're not going to be trying to blame the government. They're going to be trying to blame the assholes who are trying to cover it up. They're going to be trying to blame the enemies of humanity that were trying to hide Star Trek technology from the world. That's who the public is going to blame. So here's a post that I made on September 26, 2023. This was 8 months ago here. I'm going to read it out. I called it "The Philip Wood Photo is Real. I have come across analysis that conclusively debunks the debunk, where none other than Mick West himself claims that the Philip Wood photo is fake. Mick West, would you like to apologize and retract your fake debunk given the following evidence? Did you know your points were false when you made them? Here's the summary to blow and the full write-up. I'm going to pull that up here. We'll look at it in a second. So somebody, this is a direct quote from, do I have the screenshots down there? Here it is. I created the following website, which debunks all of metabunk.org blogger arguments, which were used to dismiss the original photo posted at 4chan as fake, and have added the Facebook page tab on my timeline to open up the website, which reads, posted photo is authentic. The photo analysis shows that the photo was taken by an iPhone app like the Picasso Web Albums app, and it also proves that the photo is authentic, and hence the message was genuinely posted from Diego Garcia. The conclusions: any photo taken using iPhone 5 and later, edited using Picasso software, does not result in the Picasso ASCII string being inserted into the software IFD entry data, unlike what is seen in this photo. I'll show you guys this as well so you can see. When non-standard camera app features in a smartphone or the camera inside the app, like the Picasso Web Albums app, are used to take a picture, it can result in the shorter two coordinates, longitude and latitude, format GPS info being stored in the EXIF data. So Mick West claimed that that was incorrect and he was wrong. And again, these aren't opinions. These are just literal statements of fact here. Since the software IFD entry in the data says whatever this number is, the Picasa ASCII string is present as one of the strings in the 6-string format characteristics of the iPhone. The software that inserted the string into the image must have been aware that this image was taken using an iPhone. And so in all likelihood, it was the Picasso Web Albums app on Philip's iPhone 5, which inserted that string into the software IFD. So this was an authentic post from Philip Wood's iPhone and is in alignment with the fact that the original post was deleted, and most likely when the captors found out about it, confiscated the phone, using which they could have deleted the original post. Let me pull up this. Oh, well, by the way, this was my subreddit that got banned way back then. So my subreddit only lasted 2 weeks, and then the debunkers got my subreddit banned. So just in case they could be any more dishonest, they literally wouldn't allow any dissenting opinions. So they banned my entire subreddit from the internet. Where is the original post? Oh, and then Mick West responded as well. So let me see what his response was. This is Mick West's official response to this. No. That was it. That was it. I reposted this in January, and Mick West's response was just no. That's his complete response. And here's Mick West's response. EXIF data can be modified in undetectable ways with simple tools. So for the people claiming that you can fake all these videos, but you can't make a cloud picture, well, Mick West would argue against you. There's his direct quote. EXIF data can be modified in simple ways. I'll post a link to this as well so you guys can check out. Now let's look at this. Here is the complete analysis, okay? So I think here is the arguments by Blogger. Let's open this up. Yeah, here it is. Okay, let's take a look at this. April 2nd, 2014, okay? Edit admin by Mick West, April 2nd, 2014. This is over 10 years ago. We have absolute proof here that Mick West is the one. Since the entire theory rests on the claim that the EXIF data proves the location, this claim is debunked by post 9, which demonstrates that EXIF data can be easily changed. Summary. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. So here's the 7 points that were made, okay? The photo originally posted on 4chan, a notorious source of internet hoaxes. This is an opinion. The second post, the GPS EXIF data in the photo is trivial to modify. That there are apps that can do that, except for apparently for a cloud picture. For a cloud picture, then these guys say that it's absolute proof if we have a cloud picture with metadata in it. So again, this is an opinion. The third one, the GPS EXIF data in the fake photo, this is obviously emotionally charged language being used, is in a different format. This is objectively false. It's not in a different format from the iPhone 5 data. The fake photo, again, emotionally charged information here again. The fake photo's GPS is consistent with the format, or is consistent with the format used by the Picasso when editing EXIF data. Again, this is false. The fake photo lacks altitude data, which is consistent with it being edited. Again, this is false. The photos taken in the iPhone apps includes the altitude data. This is also false. There is no evidence that it is genuine, and a vast amount of evidence is fake. This is also false. So all of these, all the factual arguments that are made here are false, and they are refuted right here in this post. So I'm just going to show you the Picasso. Here's the iPhone analysis. Picasso will write the longitude and latitude in the EXIF metadata here. Says basically the difference in the GPS formats is above argument is referring to the fact that the unusual photos taken using iPhone 5 and all 3 GPS coordinates, longitude, latitude, and altitude, where the above contained only GPS of longitude and latitude. So that above here is absolute proof that it does not always include the altitude. So that argument that we just heard up there from Metabunk was false. Here's the absolute proof right here. There's no altitude data in this. This is a real picture. So he took a random real picture, pulled up the metadata, showed you there's no altitude data in it. And then he does this several times. So I've already kind of given you the analysis, but you can check for yourself here as well. And anyway, you can check through this yourself. I've already read through it in the past. I tried to condense it down there. So here's the conclusions, and I wrote those conclusions down there as well. So this does not necessarily mean that it's impossible to have faked the Philip Wood picture, because you still have to explain why it was posted on 4chan, which I agree is an argument that one can make. But it does show that Mick West's arguments for Metabunk were fabricated. So he fabricated this fake debunk over 10 years ago. And now let's take a look at what happened with the history of this. I want to show you guys how the VFX was fabricated as well. So first thing I'm going to show you is proof that Mick West is the one who's responsible for it. Let's see. Maybe I'll just pull it up. Actually, hold on. Give me a second, guys. Problem is I have so many screenshots of people who are posting misinformation. It's actually hard to find the one I want. Even when I search Mick West, I get like 50 responses. Where is it? Okay, and then here also, Mick West. Here's Mick West claiming he would not look at the message. This is not my direct message with Mick West. I've never direct messaged Mick West. But this is him arguing that he would never look into the videos, which, of course, he lied about later on. So I have all the receipts, by the way, guys. Here's Mick West's video that he made. He made a YouTube video trying to debunk the video. So this is, again, is absolute proof as well that he was fabricating multiple debunks. In that debunk, I believe he goes through the jittery contrails claim as well as the VFX claim. Here it is. Okay. And now here's absolute proof that Mick West is responsible for the Pyromania VFX debunk. This is the exact same day that a one-day-old Reddit account posted the Pyromania VFX debunk. The same day that the one-day-old account, within hours, Mick West is posting this saying he found it on an obscure 1995 3DO video game. This was a full playthrough in 1 hour. This video is an hour long, and he randomly finds the VFX in the middle of this video. The only answer is that Mick West is Icy Slide, or that someone in his sphere of influence is Icy Slide, and he knew exactly where to go searching for this video in this 3DO killing time. This links Mick West directly to the fabricated VFX debunk, which under no circumstances matches the videos. And this is proof that it doesn't match right here. This is a direct overlay of the VFX to the video right here. You can see very clearly it does not match. This is a statement of facts. It's not an opinion. That does not match our video. Even this frame, which is the closest frame, also does not match. Very clearly does not match in the middle. Even when you line up the dots as best as you can, it doesn't match along the borders. This is not an arguable debate. It objectively doesn't match. So we have Mick West right here claiming that he's the one that found this. Now I'm going to show you where this came from as well, okay? Because I want to make sure that people understand the evidence, the full evidence against Mick West, and why he fabricated multiple fake debunks and why he should be investigated under criminal conspiracy for this. So I'm going to close this out. Let's go. Oh, here it is. Actually, that was it. Okay, perfect. Pull this back up. Okay, so this post right here, can you guys see that? Let me see. Can you see this? No, you can't. Okay, this post is 1 year old. This dates January 13th, 2023. So this post here was posted by Koodles or something like that 1 year ago, January 13th, 2023. This is actually 8 months before the videos reemerged, well before I knew about these videos and remembered them, 8 months beforehand. This video here is actually posted, if we go to the YouTube channel, by Ashley Burnitz. So Ashley Burnitz was in my streams one time, And we asked her, A, if she was the hoaxer. She's not the hoaxer. We asked her why she was posting this video, and she said that she had been like trying to promote this video because she thought that, you know, there was something to look into here related to this video. So if you want to think that Ashley was the hoaxer, you can go ahead and try to find Ashley Burnitz, but there's no chance that she is. So I wish you the best of that. And here you go. 8 months. Look at this. 8 months ago as well. Somebody posted this. When Demo 8 months ago posted the exact coordinates where this happened. The digits are written in the lower left corner of the satellite video, right next to the last known radar signature of MH370. It's actually 350 miles away, but close enough. Pretty close to the last radar signature of MH370. Now, of course, if you're the hoaxer, you would have, if the videos were faked and there was a hoaxer, they wouldn't have put it in that location. They would have put the plane at the last radar coordinates, not 350 miles away in a completely different area. So this is where this comes from. And when you look at the replies, we looked at them yesterday. I'm not going to read through all of them, but there's a lot of people saying that this is some stupid CGI video, people claiming this hurts the families, a whole bunch of other bullshit like that. So now what I want to show you guys is how, after this posted on Reddit, the intelligence community jumped onto the scene. And I'm going to give you evidence for why and how. So remember the date here, January 13th, 2023. So let's go to my source here. This is the Pyromania VFX. We looked through the history of the Pyromania VFX that was uploaded on the internet that everybody was using to debunk the videos. Look at this. It was updated January 16th, 2023. This is 3 days after that video was posted on Reddit. 3 days after that video was posted on Reddit, all of a sudden someone decides to come in here and update this uploaded asset, which I'll show you guys the source link for it as well. I want to make sure I have all the evidence lined up for you guys. Oh, and by the way, here's the full playthrough of the Killing Time video game. So Mick West says that he went through this hour-long video and found the asset. Here it is right here. Here's the clip to it. That's it right there. You can see this is the asset right here. Let me just click the link again. This is what Mick West claimed to find this. Obviously, this is not the same asset that is in our video. Obviously, this is not the same. I mean, it's pretty goddamn different. Now we have the, let's see, where is it? Okay, here is the upload. We have the archive upload here as well. You can see right here, Wave Rider uploaded by Wave Rider on January 25th, 2023. So this is 12 days after that video had emerged. We looked at the data right here. There it is right there. Updated January 25th, 2023. It looks like somebody updated it 3 days also. These are the assets in the zip file. Somebody updated the assets in the zip file 3 days after that video emerged. That's pretty amazing that somebody posted this on Reddit. And all of a sudden, somebody had the Pyromania VFX getting posted onto the internet. Now, not just that, I'm going to show you how they objectively fabricated this. Okay, so we can see here's the metadata related to it, updated January 25th. And then look at the image. The image actually they literally took some of the assets from the MH370. The best one's here down on the bottom right. This right here is the actual image from the drone video. You can see the tail of the plane sticking out right here. This one on the right is the one snapshot that they've tried to argue is a perfect match to what we see on the left. And I showed you guys the perfect overlay. So you can tell right here, this is proof right here that somebody was preparing this debunk in January of 2023 to be used against the videos. You're looking at the absolute proof of that right here. So we can actually even figure out where this came from. And they pulled this out of their ass because they had it prepared, ready to go. And then this was used to trick people like Joe Rogan into thinking that the videos were fake. So let me pull up. I'm going to switch over to my other share screen real quick to show you This is exactly what they did. So then what they did, you can see that this is the real one. This is the real one on the left. This is the fake asset. They use this, and this is obviously doesn't match. Like you can see where the dot has been perfectly lined up right here. It means that the edge doesn't match at all. There's no way to make this a better fit than what we see right here. This is the best possible fit that there is. I don't know why the Lore Lodge uses a fabricated comparison, but their comparison is not the real asset to the MH370 video. So what you see right here is they literally took the real, where is it? They took the real MH370 video and they inserted the frame from it to make it look like it was part of this Pyromania asset back in January 25th, 2023, 8 months before this investigation ever began. And Mick West is the one that claimed to find it in an hour-long YouTube video in less than a couple hours after a one-day-old Reddit account posted on Reddit to ban the videos from being discussed anymore on the Reddit. Pretty incredible, right? And this one right here, where you see my mouse up here, this also looks like it was like partially fabricated because there is no blue coloring in any of these assets. It looks like what they did was they took the border of one of them and they put it around. I don't know which frame this is from the drone video, but it looks like they took it from the drone video and tried to superimpose it in over here. I could be wrong. Maybe this is just incidental. But this one down here is no doubt. This is the actual drone video right here that they inserted into this to make it look like it was part of these assets. So this looks like this was falsified way ahead of time in January to debunk the video. So now we've got Mick West on the Philip Wood, lying about the Philip Wood picture. We've caught him using the fabricated debunk from the Pyromania VFX, where he was most likely given this asset and told to use this because it had been put on the internet back in January of 2023. And then let's take a look at the last one, which is the jittery contrails. One sec, chat. I got a search on here. Okay. Okay. Yep. Here you go. And then we're going to look at Mick West's fabrication of the jittery contrails. So that's two debunks that Mick West and his supporters have promoted that were falsifications by pure definition. Literal definition of falsification is modifying something to perceive it as a lie. So this right here as well, as you can see in the bottom left, this is Mick West here arguing that there are jittery contrails in the bottom left down here of this video. He argues that this software. That's the reason why. Now, that was actually told to him in the replies as well. Where is it? Where's the It's BS guy? Here it is. The stabilization software can make the contrails shake as if they are part of the background. This is what I did with ProDad stabilization, and you can see that the contrails in the video board are shaking up and down in the same way. It is the stabilization algo, not compositing. You can see my reply. This is 100% confirmed to be stabilization software and a low bitrate artifact, but debunkers refuse to admit they were wrong. So this is on no uncertain terms proof. Now, just because this may not be enough, we absolutely proved it. The reason why it's seeing the smoke as the background is because it's blue. It's blue on blue, as opposed to the plane being green. So the nail in the coffin that shows, and as far as I know, Mick West has not apologized for fabricating this fake debunk or any of the fake debunks that he posted out there. You saw in the replies about the Philip Wood, he just said no. That was his only response. He didn't have any arguments whatsoever. In my opinion, Mick West is a criminal and an enemy of humanity, and he should spend the rest of his life in prison for covering up the disappearance of 239 people. To me, that's 239 charges of conspiracy, should put someone in prison for the rest of their life. Now, let's go ahead and go to the video file of the jittery contrails. So this now is going to be absolute proof that it was related to the stabilization software. We converted it to black and white. And when you convert it to black and white, you can see that the jitteriness goes completely away. The top one here, you can see there's no more jittery contrails anymore. It was just an issue of the stabilization software. The bottom one is the original. The top one is it being stabilized in black and white. No more jittery contrails. So what perceived as jittery contrails is actually accurate camera shake from the video. And we can tell that, obviously, it shouldn't have required all this effort, because if we just pull up the video file from the drone, you can tell that the camera is shaking like crazy. So it shouldn't even have gone this far. The fact that they are pushing this fake debunk out there, if I just go ahead and zoom in a little bit, like this, you can tell it's just the camera shaking. Like you can just tell looking at it, it's the camera shaking. I don't know why they felt the need to try to fabricate this fake debunk out there. Okay. And we'll just watch it get zapped out of the sky one more time. Cool. Okay, guys, that was pretty good. I think, do we have anything else I want to go through? Let me look at this. Okay, so I showed all the proof of the 3 fabricated debunks that are out there. I didn't plan on going through all the debunks tonight, but I'll go ahead and go through the what my honest explanation is for the cloud image as well, because apparently people are kind of obtuse when it comes to some of this right here. So let's take a look at that since we're doing it anyway, chat. We're doing it anyway. So the 4th debunk, which I don't know if it can be attributed to Mick West. I'm not accusing him of fabricating this debunk. Is the cloud image. So I'm just going to read this off for you guys. In December, there was a debunk that claimed to find a 2D cloud image with matching clouds from the MH370 video if you inverted, stretched, and stitched the image. If you read the quoted tweet, you'll see that it's impossible for there to be a 2D cloud image in the video because the video itself is technically authentic. The 6-day-old Reddit account claiming to have found the cloud image lied about how they found it, saying that they were somehow able to pick it out from the hundreds of not thousands of cloud images in 20 minutes. I think it was shown that there's like 140 something sets of cloud images on the Textures website. Given the alterations required to make the cloud images match, this is impossible. The user knew exactly where to find this image. They then mysteriously, anonymously emailed the supposed picture taker to get the person to tie their real name and make a debunk video for them. There's a debunk video out there, I think it has like about 1 million views or something like that. And that's tied to Jonas Duro. He's the one that wanted to come out and make it and use his real name. So whatever happens, that's on him. The picture taker couldn't even find their own image on the website. I'm going to repeat that one more time. The picture taker couldn't even find their own image on the website. The image in question did not reverse image search to the website. It only went back to 2016 in the Wayback Machine, which is coincidentally the same time where Edward C. Lynn was convicted of leaking classified information that has never been made publicly available in terms of what it was. And none of the images in the set exist in any torrents. That was a real killer, is that none of the images in the sets exist in any of the torrents. So this image does not exist in any torrents. That means the only place the hoaxer could have found the image is from that website. So why did the website owner not look up who, or the Redditors or anybody who wants to debunk the image, why did none of them find out who downloaded those images in the window of time required? The website owner should have been able to track who downloaded the images, but did not do so. Instead, they actually trolled everybody in the community. We have 2 videos in perfect synchronization from completely different perspectives. We show that there's accurate 3-dimensional lighting from the zap, naturally moving and evolving clouds, and the clouds line up in both videos, proving a full 3D rendered environment would be required. So let me go ahead and just prove all of those claims real quick. Here's the clouds moving. You can literally see the clouds moving up and down here. They're evolving naturally. This is explained in the quoted tweet there as well. In addition to that, let's show that the clouds match up side by side. Here's the clouds syncing up. So I showed this the other day, but the clouds actually sync up in both videos when you play them next to each other. You can see the first cloud right there, second cloud right there. You can actually triangulate the position of the clouds from that. And then the third image, the accurate zap from the clouds as well. And sorry for people that wanted to do science. I will make it up to you by tomorrow, and we will do some science as well. But I wanted to go over that CNN article that we talked about. Sorry, I'm looking up the image. Where is the damn image? Oh, sorry, it's in my debunk list. That's why. Oh, and also just real quick for the Pyromania VFX, we actually found all the still images from the Pyromania VFX, and I put them side by side for people so that people can see that they're in no uncertain terms are these even remotely similar. These are obviously not the same assets. You can see, you can compare the all 4 frames. There's only 4 frames in the drone video, and there's like, what, six frames here that seem to be, if you argue, they were comprised and put together, and you can tell that none of them match. I mean, you can just look and use your eyes and do a side-by-side comparison right there. So I'll leave that up while I'm pulling up the zap image. Damn, why is it so hard to find? Oh, there it is. Okay. And here's the zap. Oh boy. So there's the zap image, shows accurate lighting on full 3D volumetric clouds. We have no lit here, backlit here, front lit here, backlit over here on the left, and then slight backlit over here as well. So extremely difficult to get this accurate lighting like this in 3 dimensions like we see. Now let's go to the next thing. Going back to this. And then I'll answer a few questions and then we'll probably close it out for early stream tonight. Okay. So the very first thing, if anyone is being honest, then means that they need to admit that it would take a full 3D rendered environment. I'm not going to listen to any arguments going forward until debunkers admit it would require a full 3D rendered environment to fake these videos. Both videos are in perfect synchronization with one another as well. So that absolute proof that the videos would require a full 3D rendered environment. No one's producing 2D rendered environments and matching them up, lining them up perfectly. Considering that there's no discrepancies at all. Someone would have made a mistake. Now, in addition to this, somebody in the YouTube comments, which whether or not you want to believe them or not is not necessarily important, you can argue against the factual evidence they've put forth. The same way where the debunkers don't ever list their names, never list their credentials. They just argue that they know. So here's some counter argument. This person said, I'd disproven something that the doubters had used to debunk the videos. Someone combined a photo of the final view of the video with an identical image that contains all of the detail in parts of the cloud that were rendered white when it was enhanced by boosting the contrast to the released video. The claim was that the video hoaxer found the original video or cloud video online and used it to fake the MH370 video, with the proof being that the original had all the missing cloud detail because it was unenhanced and low contrast. So it had no real dark and no real light, just overall very grayish. But the MH370 video looks exactly like what boosting the contrast does to imagery, which I did to the original low contrast photo and made it look just like the video. My takeaway as one who finds the debunking not nearly as convincing as the facts that you have pointed out is that the poster of that photo had access to the original video and that it had been processed to enhance its dull grayish appearance. That high contrast, rich color product cannot be backwards manipulated to restore the lost detail post enhancement because it was blown out, as they say, by turning those areas pure white. Once saved to a file, that detail is gone forever in that version. But whoever released the image of the higher detail but lower contrast version of the final view could not have produced it from the released video. It could only have been produced from the original footage. What I did was alter the MH370 screen capture every way possible to show that nothing restores the lost detail. And underneath that image, I put the results of the boosting of the contrast of the low contrast image, which I subsequently looks exactly like the video with one explicable difference. There's no video, there's no plane and no orbs. So what they were claiming here is that the only way someone could have created that 2D image is with the original source video, meaning the intelligence community themselves. And based on that evidence that we had put out there, that image would have potentially been put online on the internet by someone in the intelligence community who had access to the original footage. Okay. This is also, I'm not going to read through all this, but this was the analysis that somebody did on April 8th, 2023, the day after the videos had reemerged. This person was an expert at satellite imagery, sensor data, and they were also a pilot. Their conclusion was down here at the bottom: I'm convinced that the original imagery is real, but cannot say one way or another whether or not it had been edited, especially considering how extraordinary the content is. So they basically looked through all this and they show that whatever we're looking at here is real. Nobody fabricated this. Nobody added a plane to it. All the movements of the plane are consistent with the real capabilities of a Boeing 777. The movements and the quality of the video is consistent with what are the technical analysis of the video is consistent with what the satellite systems actually would have used. 1 pixel per meter, I think, was the consistent. Yeah, 1 pixel per meter. So there you go, guys. Pretty crazy, huh? What a night. What a night, chat. Yeah, so that's why if it ever were to go to a trial, I'll just get an expert on satellite imagery like that person and just have them testify to the fact that the footage is real. And then they can try to get Jonas or somebody else to somehow argue that he knows that a photo from 11 years ago is somehow a photo that he took and not one that was planted on the cloud. Would be pretty impressive, especially when I have him on record, which I have never posted the clip. I have him on record saying that everything can be faked. So just want people to know that. I have a video of him with Kim.com where he says that anything can be faked. I haven't posted that yet because I didn't want to completely shatter him, but that's the truth. Let me thank a few more people here. You guys can ask some questions in the chat if you want. I will answer any questions like I always do. Mr. Spider Monkey, thank you very much. Super sticker. I don't know what that means. Appreciate the $5. That's awesome. BC, this is brilliant. Call them criminal. Okay, we already talked about that one. My channel, thank you very much. $2. If the plane doesn't fit, you must acquit. Yeah, and the recreations that people have done have people argue that people recreated the videos. Again, as a statement of fact, nobody has recreated these videos. No one has recreated these videos. Not Don Burgess, not the Corridor crew, not whatever his name is, that idiot Tony Adams or whatever. Like they pinned his terrible recreation on Reddit of the satellite video, and he literally just copied all the details from the original, except for everything that he got wrong, which was the orbs, the zap, and the plane. Like literally the only things that he added, he got wrong. He literally just copied the satellite coordinates and stuff like that without explaining how he would pick out satellite coordinates, how he would make an accurate six decimal places coordinate shifts. Like that's some of the best evidence is they just overlook it and deny it. So no, as a statement of fact, nobody's recreated the videos. Nobody's even come close. Certainly not Tony Adams. Certainly not the other person who tried to make the drone video, which the person that tried to make the drone video, the reason why they don't pin that video is because it was so bad that they got laughed off the internet, and it actually made more people believe that the videos were real. So that's the reason why the Redditors never pinned the drone video that someone made many months ago. Also, none of these people streamed any of their work so that no one could watch them do their work. No one could see how long it took them to do it because obviously they're being deceptive about it. They don't want people to know that it took like days and days and days to produce something that was just garbage. While they ignored everything. Santaphilia, do you think Mick West is deep state? I think my true opinion is that he's just a moron that thinks way too highly of himself and that he doesn't really have any critical thinking capabilities. That's my true opinion of him. I think he's probably a useful idiot like a lot of these people. I think that usually the intelligence communities just use these people and they don't even know they're being used. Like somebody probably passed the Pyromania VFX to Mick West, and either he posted it on a burner account, which he's known to use burner accounts. He got banned from Wikipedia for using alt accounts back in 2007. Again, that's a statement of fact. That's what happened. And he's the only person that has to like use a burner account because anytime he posts anywhere, everybody knows he's a fraud. Or it was somebody in his direct sphere of influence. We've seen that the debunkers use many burner accounts all the time. The irony is that they think that I use burner accounts and I only have one account. but they think that I have burner accounts on all these things. I have one Reddit account and I have one Twitter account. I haven't posted anything else except for on those 2 accounts that are out there. Simple as that. And I don't even use the Reddit account anymore. I don't post anything on it. But whatever it is, I mean, if I was Mick West, I would be very scared, and I would be deleting all my posts around the debunks. I would be deleting my YouTube video, and I would be putting a formal apology saying that I don't know if the videos are real or not, but that I had no ill intent in terms of trying to debunk them. And I would be deleting all the posts and the threads off Metabunk as well, because that's all hard evidence. Now, it's all been archived. We have it all in the Internet Archive, so it's never going away. So there's no deleting the evidence at this point. But that would at least show a good faith attempt, because Mick West doesn't know these videos are fake. And if he keeps pretending like he knows that they're fake, then he's just increasing the criminal liability against himself. Jake says, I wonder if the Zap and MH370 videos is actually the other side of the portal since it was nighttime. No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what that means. Do you think the videos are in reverse or something? Not really following you. Those videos are at nighttime that you're watching. So there is a post as well out there that I showed here. Maybe I have it. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys that what we're looking at in the satellite video is nighttime. First of all, it's a computer rendered environment, so it's technically a false color, and they can make it look like however they want. But here is what the military capabilities are actually at, Jake. This is pitch black nighttime. Does it look familiar? This is actually pitch black nighttime that you're looking at right here. Blue sky, green ocean, pitch black at night, can't see a damn thing. Completely dark outside. Just so that people understand what the military's capabilities are here. That's why I'm posting this, showing this to you guys. Because people don't seem to think that you can make nighttime look like daytime. Yes, they can. There's no shadows in the satellite video anywhere. There's no directional lighting in the satellite video. Again, the coordinates indicate nighttime. Everything indicates nighttime. There's no evidence it's daytime. The drone video as well is grainy, and the reason why it would be grainy is because it's nighttime as well. But I appreciate the donation, man. And I'm not against other people posting alternative theories, but I'm giving you the evidence for why it's not. Thank you, Mark McCandlish. Get your warp drive on. Appreciate you. PJ, Mike, God, you guys are going crazy. Thanks for the investigation. Much appreciated. And then Claire, thank you for your perseverance. It was originally a skeptic, but now I've bought the t-shirt. Oh, did you buy the t-shirt from Etsy? Is it still up there? Guys, I might have to go look. Etsy. Okay, I'm going to go look, guys. We're going to give somebody the MH370 bump real quick. Let's look. I don't know. How did you find it? How do you find the picture? Is there a way to search by like people? Guys, I bought these what was it? Oh boy, I'm struggling to think right now. The shirt that I wore on Ian Carroll was from Arcana on Etsy, but I don't know how she found it. If the obscure VFX website explosion stock effect video doesn't fit, you must have quit. Good call. I have this thing up here, but I can't figure out where it is. So if you guys want the Arcana thing on Etsy, it's somewhere out here. I don't know how to find it. Is there a way to search? It's definitely was posted by somebody named Arcana. Oh, wow. Look at this. This actually isn't even the same one. More people are out there. Okay, well, whatever. Well, yeah, this is a different person. So there's more than one shirt, guys. This one's actually the real thermal on that one. The real thermal. Okay. I don't know how she found it. Anyway, the other one's called Arcana. I don't know how to find it, guys. But if you want to find it out here, that's where I found the other image. I bought 3 of those shirts. No idea how to get them anymore. Okay, what other questions you guys have before we log off here? Ray Tracer says, Cameron Rad, of course I owe you a beer for my new hobby and a lawsuit for the other stuff. Why lawsuit Tony's and nobody? Yeah, a lot of these Redditors, like they're real at it. They don't have anything to take anyway. So they know there's nothing to take from them. Ash Broody, your shit is like watching an episode of Black Mirror, but in live. Yeah, stay strong. Yeah, it really is, guys. This is the craziest thing ever. Like we've refuted all the debunks conclusively. We've shown that somebody seems to have tried to plant debunks on the internet months and months ago. Oh, I forgot the 2 other things, guys. Damn, you guys just reminded me. Okay, we have 2 more things we have to do real quick. Where's the France 24? I think this is it. No, that's not it. Oh, where's the France 24 debunk, guys? How come it's not on the internet anymore? Crazy, because this debunk, when you used to Google, you used to Google the France 24 debunk, and it used to show up first. Here we go. Well, I'm going to show you the Newsweek one first. Supposedly, we looked up the France 24 debunk that this one we're about to look at here was based off of. And supposedly, it's been argued, I haven't confirmed this yet, but that it showed up in January. Because if it showed up in January, that would implicate that the person that posted the fake debunk on the internet, also that maybe even uploaded the assets, intelligence community, also got France 24 to post a fake debunk attempt that was objectively wrong as well. Now, this one's interesting. This is the Newsweek one. So the Newsweek debunk showed up on the internet August 9th, 2023. This is 2 days after the videos emerged on Reddit. So some UFO videos emerge on Reddit, on the UFO subreddit, and Newsweek is posting a debunk within 2 days. Why would Newsweek be posting a debunk within 2 days? That's extremely fast. And then they updated it because the same day that they posted it, within 1 hour, I posted on Twitter saying that they were wrong. And so they updated it like 6 days later. They never reached back out to me, even though I called them out on it. So this only has one fact. There's only one fact in this whole post. And you can see here it is. Here's the subreddit with 5,000 upvotes. Keep in mind, Newsweek has never reached out to me to report on the investigation whatsoever, but they reported on a random Reddit post in order to debunk it. This shows that the intelligence community potentially owns Reddit and Newsweek both. Now, oh, here's the France 24 one as well. We're going to double check the France 24 one right here. Yeah, no, so this was posted in March of 2023, but so here we go. Hoaxeye. So Hoaxeye as well is another one of these fabricated bot debunk accounts that's probably run by the government. Hoaxeye is completely full of shit. So anything you see from Hoaxeye is most likely fabricated. They use these accounts that are like these Hoaxeye accounts to get people to not look at real videos on the internet. So we've caught them on that as well. So whenever you see stuff by like Hoaxeye, there's a few other accounts that you'll find on Twitter that are really suspicious that try to debunk stuff that are most likely run by the government. Here's where they were caught in a lie. They claimed it couldn't be a military satellite because NROL 33 wasn't launched until after the disappearance of MH370. So this whole article, this is the only fact in the whole article, and the fact is incorrect. It was NROL 22, which was launched in 2006, which was the first launch of the Cyber system. So they literally fabricated a fake debunk here. Newsweek fabricated a fake debunk. Hoaxeye fabricated a fake debunk. And before they edited this used to say NROL 77. This whole article is a copy and paste from the France 24 article that predates it. Like an AI basically wrote this. Whoever this author is, we're going to put them on blast as well. What was their stupid name again? Tom Norton. This might not even be a real person. Tom Norton might just be like a pseudonym or some kind of cover name for the feds that posted this on the internet. I tried to find out who Tom Norton was, and I got some kind of stock picture. I don't even think they're a real human being. Now, if we go to the France 24 one, this was posted on March 23rd, 2023. So keep in mind that the reemergence of the videos in 2023 was in January, and then we saw the Pyromania VFX appear on January of either January 17th or January 16th or January 25th is when it seems to be uploaded. And then when you look at this one, it's all the same stuff. So it says stuff about TikTok stuff, the documentary. It talks about this weird Google Earth thing, which is obviously not the plane. And then I think right down here, no, that's not it. Here's the one about the orbs, okay? A video posted on TikTok, which 1.5 million views. And where's the thing? Here's the thing talking about regicide anon. Here's the link to it right here. They say it's likely a graphic. Scott Brando. So Scott Brando is another one of these Fed bot accounts. UFO interest. I have absolute proof this guy's a botter. Absolute proof. I can even show it if you want. UFO interest is another one of these fake accounts that covers up stuff that the government does online. So you guys know this guy Scott Brando is a complete fraud. He's most likely bought and paid for by the government. He falsely debunks real videos, just like Mick West does with this UFO interest account. We caught him way back in August botting, and he had no answer. His argument after being caught botting, like indisputably caught botting, was that other people were copying his posts. That was his actual argument. I'm actually even going to prove it to you guys real quick, because I always bring the receipts, guys. So 100% proof that this guy's a botter and that probably he's run by the government. Called him out, didn't have any answer for it. Looking for that screenshot. While I'm looking for that screenshot, let's scroll down. So, and there's no facts here whatsoever. He just says, made by a video editing enthusiast, but this is this is not a statement of fact here. In fact, he edits out the part here. They edit out the part where it says that Regicide Anon argued that the footage was real. Argued with them that the footage was real. The Vimeo account, if you read this whole description, which is in Spanish, it says that Regicide Anon argued for the authenticity of the footage. So the very first uploader was arguing that the footage was real. They forget to post that on this debunk as well. And then this is somebody here that's just literally says poor exampling off editing. So there's no factual arguments in here at all. This is just some nonsense. And then look, Hoaxai again. So this Jane Alberg person is probably run by the government as well. These people are all misinformation and disinformation. Objectively speaking, they're frauds. And again, he made a fake argument right here that's 100% incorrect, claiming again that it's NRL 33. You can just look at it. Here's a 3 right here. You can literally see the 3 right here, 93. These are 2s. These are 2s right here. This is a 3. These are 2s. 3, 2s. So there can be no further argument. I'm going to zoom it in for you guys so you can see. This is a 93. This is a 2. NRL 22. So really weird, because then they argue NRL 33 was not launched until May 22nd, 2014, which was after the MH370 incident. But it's not NRL 33 anyway. It's NRL 22. Oh, and also they say it's not possible because the drone's max altitude is 25,000 feet. So this is also false. So once again, we're looking at very low altitude because we could see the cumulus clouds in the background. So we debunked every single thing that they made that was false. So pretty crazy, right? And then they also put this emotionally charged language in here about it not being a satellite video when it objectively is a satellite video. Very weird stuff, man. Very weird. So let me go ahead and destroy Scott Brando as well, because I hate frauds in general. And I just want you guys to see the depths of deception that the intelligence community does to cover up the stuff that they do. Because not only are we proving the videos are real, we're also showing how the intelligence community operates and uses like useful idiots and their assets to post disinformation out there about that stuff. Yeah, whoever was asking about the coordinates, I just pulled the coordinates up so that there's no denial whatsoever about the footage being authentic. Okay, here it is. So here's absolute proof that Scott Brando is a bot account. The exact same one that you see right here. Scott Brando of UFO interest. Here you go. There it is. UFO interest. That's his account right there. This is Scott Brando's account. If you look this up on Twitter, you'll see that it ties directly back to his name. Absolutely false. That's one of the old fake videos created by Regicide. So first of all, there's no evidence whatsoever that Regicide Anon is the hoaxer. No evidence at all. It's actually, Regicide Anon can't be the hoaxer because higher quality versions of the video were uploaded later on. And that's the reason why the debunkers won't argue that Regicide Anon was the hoaxer as well, because they know it'd be too easy to prove it's wrong. So this guy absolutely posted fake information, disinformation about the airliners. This guy should also be investigated, honestly, because as you can see here, the same guy who created the fake airliner video often related to the hoax promoters by Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. Really shameful. Look at all these bot accounts posting the exact same thing, literally word for word. Exact same comments multiple times. Exact same comments by all of these accounts. This is 100% proof that this guy's a bot. 100% proof. And there's even more, guys, because he argued after I called him out on this. Scott Brando argued that somebody just copied his comments and repasted them. These weren't even replies. These other ones were posts. Nobody is copy and pasting Scott Brando's comments. No one cares about this guy. This guy has like 1,000 followers. No one gives a shit what this idiot says. No one's going to the effort to repost his content. So not only that, guys, because you want more proof that this guy's a bot, here's the exact same comment from a bot account on Reddit. Exact same comment. Oops. From a bot account on Reddit. Word for word, punctuation exactly the same as well. And yeah, say thanks. If you want to hit the like button, I appreciate you guys. I prefer if you guys just... So, I mean, what more do you want, guys? So not only did we out some bots, we proved that the debunkers have fabricated multiple fake debunks. We proved that the France 24 and Newsweek debunks are objectively false. And those debunks were actually tricked people, even like Timothy Goulet, I think his name is, who's a rear admiral. Timothy Goulet went on Chris Leto, and Chris Leto asked him, and he went, wait, I thought that was like impossible because the satellite was shot up after the plane disappeared. He said that. You can go find it on Chris Leto's interview with Tim Goulet. He's a rear admiral in the Navy. You think he doesn't know about the Cyber system? So was he lying, or was he actually tricked by a fake Newsweek debunk? Weird. Very weird. So yes, prove the debunkers wrong, prove that they fabricated multiple fake debunks, prove that it all goes back to McWest, prove that it looks like we didn't prove, but it looks like the intelligence community planted fake Pyromania VFX assets out there to give to McWest later on, that he would end up using, because they emerged right after those videos reemerged in January. And we showed that the Newsweek debunk appeared 2 days after the videos emerged on Reddit, while all the world's media is ignoring this entire investigation and the mountain of evidence, again, verifiable evidence that the videos are real. So if the news media in the United States government, news media in the United States was legitimate, then they would be trying to find Edward C. Lin right now to prove these videos are real, because it's the biggest story in the history of man. They would be pressuring the U.S. government for an answer about why we have military footage of a plane that disappeared without a trace, or we never found a plane. But they're not doing that. Newsweek's not doing that. None of the major mainstream media is doing that. Instead, they're pushing falsified fabrication, fake fact checks on the internet with comments from bot accounts. Why is Newsweek quoting Scott Brando, who's a bot? Why are they quoting Hoaxeye, which is another Fed bot? Why are they quoting all these fake accounts? Like, none of this makes any sense. Yeah, they literally had that debunk prepared, ready to go. And this is why they probably had the cloud debunk ready to go. They probably used the original satellite footage that we've never seen and used AI to create a cloud image from it, and then post it on Jonas's cloud storage of the pictures and onto the Textures website to be found later on. And that way, the people that would find it would think that there's nothing wrong with it. But if you took a picture 11 years ago, how are you going to be certain that that's even a picture you took? You couldn't be. And that's why I have Jonas on the record in a video saying that anything can be faked as well, which is true. The debunkers would have you think that we can fake all this evidence that we've got for these videos being real, but you can't fake a picture of some clouds. Well, bad news, because I got Mick West saying that it's easy. Tools that can modify EXIF data are very easy when Mick West falsely debunked the Philip Wood picture. So feels bad, guys. Feels bad. Right. Okay. Any other questions? So where is the plane? Obviously, I don't need to prove where the plane is to prove that we took the plane, because we have 2 videos of it disappearing from United States assets. I obviously can't know exactly where the plane is. You could use that same argument on the people that claim that the plane crashed in the South Indian Ocean. Where's the plane? If these videos are fake, where's the plane? Right. So that's why that's not a logical argument. No offense, but this argument's not a logical one to say when you say with the follow-up here that otherwise you are lying. That's not how that works. So some of you people are, frankly, people like Jason, you're just an idiot. I'm just got to be honest with you. There's a lot of idiots out there that don't know how like logic and reason work. Most of them are Redditors that are out there. And so I think that for the people out there that like the debunkers, especially, this is what I'm going to give you a quick link to. You need to learn what logical fallacies are. Okay. So I'm going to post a link here for you guys so that you can see it yourself, because I think some of you need to be educated on how logic and reason work. A lot of you don't seem to realize that you're using logical fallacies all the time. And logical fallacies means that your argument has no merit. So you need to use stuff that's not a logical fallacy. A logical fallacy is an error in reasoning that occurs when invalid arguments or irrelevant points are introduced without any evidence to support them. People often resort to logical fallacies when their goal is to persuade others, because fallacies appear to be correct even though they are not. People can be tricked into accepting them. So one logical fallacy is arguing that a non-matching visual effects is in our videos because someone could have modified it. That's a logical fallacy. And when people say like, you don't know how VFX works, that's a logical fallacy. That's an appeal to authority. So strongly suggest, if you're a debunker, that you take a strong look at this list that I'm posting here, so that when we ever talk in the future, you don't resort to meritless arguments. A meritless argument is one where it doesn't have, no one listens. This is why nobody asked debunkers to be on their podcast about this, because when you listen to logical fallacies, it just comes off as stupid. So hopefully that answers some of your questions out there. Let's see, what else do we have? I want to hit up some more of these donos real quick. Imagine debunkers are selling the t-shirts to recoup the losses for doing a shitty job. Yeah, guys. And also for the record, there's people paying hundreds of dollars right now to promote, to buy engagements. I guess some of them are doing it through X directly. I've never done that before. I don't even know how that works. But supposedly you can boost your own posts. And some of these debunkers are literally paying hundreds of dollars to do that right now. Why? I don't know. The question you should ask debunkers is, why are you doing this? Well, why are you even doing this? The reason why they won't be able to answer is because in their minds, they're some kind of heroes protecting people from misinformation or something like that, because they're just twisted in their head. When someone asks me, why am I doing this? I just say, I'm doing it to get the answers for the family to solve the case. And because it's potentially the biggest story in the history of the world, that's why I'm doing it. So that's a noble reason. Doing it because you're trying to protect people from harmful information is that's mental illness. Like, that's pretty much the very definition of a savior complex. So there you go. Any other questions, guys? The horror crew, Jason equals bot. We don't need to crap on them too much, guys. The debunkers do lack ethics, though. That's very true. Yeah, so China reported objects and location, guys. Since we're doing it here, I'm going to answer some questions, guys. I'm going to show you guys the Chinese satellite images as well. Here are the Chinese satellite images. Right here. Can I make them bigger? Can't really make them bigger here, so let me do. It's annoying. I'll do it like this, chat. Here's the Chinese satellite images that were reported in Western media as having been debris in the South China Sea. We found nothing there. And you can see these are also low altitude cumulus clouds in these images, which look pretty damn similar to the ones from the MH370 video. I just think that's pretty damn weird if you ask me. What other questions you guys have? If you post your question again, if I didn't answer it, I did see the orbs over Madrid, Spain. I have seen that. There's other stuff as well that's out there. And again, for the record, saying that the plane situation is solved does not require having to know every aspect about where the plane is. That's not a requirement, by the way, guys. Only the United States government can answer the question of what they did with the plane. We've proven that they know what happened to the plane, and I think that at this point we've proven those videos are real. Unless you think the hoaxer is a psychic who is now dead, and that's why they didn't come out, or whatever the arguments are. I'm not sure. I don't care about turning people away from the investigation either. There's a lot of people that will never be able to accept this no matter what. People have literally told me that they would harm themselves before they would believe this information. I'm not somebody who's trying to convince everybody, guys. There's no world in which everybody's convinced by these videos. That's just not how this plays out, guys. The way this plays out is we put enough pressure on the government to make a statement, or it just gets so awkward that they deny this that everybody just knows that this is what happened to the plane. And some people will always say that these videos are fake, but people will just slowly ignore them, like you ignore the ranting homeless person on the corner that's just speaking gibberish. I think it's very likely that the plane exited on the other side intact, at least enough to fly. But again, I can't say with certainty on that. I was wondering how you're holding up. Doing fine, man. Thanks, William Bill. Appreciate you out there, brother. Doing great. Okay, I'm looking to see if there's any other questions. Yeah, there's probably a lot of influencers that have been recruited to push a narrative. I've kind of learned how the intelligence community operates, and it's not as overt as you would imagine. I think it's generally more indirect, and that's how they stay out of the limelight for the most part. Can you give me a definition of macroscopic phase conjugation? You can find my post about it, William. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing there now. We've talked about it a lot. Tonight's not the night for that. When we do the science stuff, we can go through it again. When we look at Thomas Bearden's work again. But you can look up macroscopic phase conjugation. There are links about it. Actually, in fact, I do have a video image here for it. Here's phase conjugation right here. So macroscopic phase conjugation would be using phase conjugation at the macroscopic level, not optical phase conjugation. It has to do with nonlinear optics. So here's a link to phase conjugation. You can look up yourself if you want to read about it. Definitely a very interesting concept that I don't think a lot of people know is real. Just hit that $550 button. Yeah, one of the debunkers has paid $550 minimum. I don't get enough marriage proposals. Could use some more, chat. Do my glasses come in men's glasses? I don't think these are females' glasses, man. It's a good attempt, though, at a burn. I'll give it to you. You helping with the CIA with their fake war on the alien agenda? Yeah, dude, I'm definitely not going to help with the fake alien Project Bluebeam bullshit. When they start saying that the alien invasion's coming, I will be like the person on the wall telling everybody how bullshit that is, because we have that technology for sure. Have you heard the new Iranian government official UFO report that just dropped? No, I haven't had that. If people in my Discord want to post that, let me know. I'm also going to post a link to the Discord right now. So here you go. Here's going to be 25 uses to the Discord. It'll last for 1 day. So if anyone wants to join the Discord, there you go. You've got it. You got to be on the YouTube in order to see that. Yeah, when your whole sense of self hinges on debunking someone, you're officially nuts. That's the sad part, right? Like a lot of the people out there, their whole personality hinges on debunking other people and feeling superior to them, which is just weird to me. People believe in a lot of stuff that I don't believe in, and I don't care. I don't believe in flat earth, but do you see me bothering flat earthers? No, I don't give a shit. I'm literally everything that I'm explaining requires curvature to be possible. It's all based on Einstein physics. And I'm not out there trying to argue with flat earthers. I just don't give a crap. Totally fine. If they want to believe the earth's flat, it doesn't bother me at all. What does ad hominem attack mean? It means that they don't address the argument. So when you're arguing with someone, not just when you're fighting with someone, when you're arguing a point with people, you should argue the argument, not argue the person. And so as you saw, we just addressed all the arguments that are out there about the VFX, the cloud image, etc. We showed the evidence. A lot of people will attack the person, which I try not to do. I'm not that genius, guys. Part of this as well is that anybody could do this. And I want you guys to realize that you can do this yourself. You don't have to be that smart to figure any of this out. You don't even have to be that smart to figure the science out. That's the crazy part. It's not that hard to figure out. The IR color scheme inversion. We don't know what this color scheme is for the satellite video. Some people ask, why is the zap white in the satellite video and black in the thermal? Well, the thermal, we know the general heat differences because we can see the engines red hot, which we know means hot. So we know that the event is endothermic and it's cold. When we're looking at it through the computer-generated satellite video, potentially from the Sivers system, we don't know if it's inverted heat or if it's just a completely false color IR that's used for tracking. We don't know. But it doesn't, just because it's white in one and black in the other, doesn't mean that that's somehow fake or what have you. Again, both videos are in perfect synchronization with one another, which refutes any arguments of, well, it's white in this one and black in this one. We're not looking at conventional off-the-shelf commercial IR cameras here, guys. These are the most high-quality multispectral cameras on the planet. Oh, and also, so the stuff that I said I owed you guys, like the clips and stuff, I'll post those tomorrow. I'll post the Ian Carroll clip tomorrow and the Bob Greenier one. I will try to get my post out tonight about what happened to the, what I think happened to the passengers. I'll probably keep it relatively short, but I might not be able to get that out tonight either. It might be tomorrow. So if you're familiar with my work, you know that usually stuff gets delayed because I've been so busy. I had to work all day today. That's why I didn't post until like 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we'll see. Yeah. So if you missed the early part, look at the Inmarsat data, look at how the data ends at 1840 and then picks back up again at 2313. I mean, what more do you want? I don't think it was a coincidence. Any other, I did not end up in a parallel universe. No, the phones were still ringing. So supposedly the plane was somewhere here as well. I'm not going to file a lawsuit against the United States government. It has to be the families that do it. I don't have standing. So it would have to be the families that do the lawsuit against the United States government. Did the plane disappear from this altitude or did it go back up? Yeah, I mean, we can see it disappearing at low altitude in the videos. So where it shows up on the other side, we don't know, but I would speculate it probably shows up near the same altitude. But that's just speculation, of course. Okay, yeah, we are MH370X. Yeah, the officials didn't hesitate to vilify the pilot, but the videos and all the evidence and the witnesses, the real people, not rows on an Excel spreadsheet, indicate that there was a fire emergency. I will probably issue a minor correction on my post and say that well, there is missing data, but they do show like some kind of weird partial handshake or something once every hour on the hour, which is pretty odd. Okay, Wang, why do you think the government doesn't seem to be worried about nuclear weapons now? I mean, that's exactly why, right? We're not worried because we got orbs that will just completely warp a nuke back onto them or annihilate the orb, annihilate the nuke firsthand. Whew. Guys, I don't know if how much more time I got in me here. I'm getting tired. Someone said something about macroscopic phase conjugation. You guys can just Google the macroscopic phase conjugation stuff. No ScarJo clones yet. I have not seen The Lost Century. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. But I've got like 5 scientific papers to read tonight for tomorrow that we can review. So it's gonna be a busy science night tomorrow. Yeah, we probably could heal stuff like arthritis. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but maybe. Can you make a video showing the telemetry coordinates matching the videos? I already did that. Check out my Ian Carroll post from yesterday or 2 days ago. I put the Ken Stobby and actually did the math and showed like exactly how far from the last radar ping the coordinates were and how it's consistent with the telemetry data. Anything else? Poor Heather Birdie getting stalked by Lou Reviews. I feel bad for you. Okay. Has Sal Pius stopped connecting with you? I haven't talked to him in a little while, but I can reach out to him whenever I want. He usually responds right away. But I think that Sal Pius is deeper in this than I imagined. Like, I think he's like really connected to some of this technology, which is pretty scary. Like, he probably put himself way out there to get this stuff out. So Sal Pius probably deserves a huge amount of the credit for all of this. Yeah, Regicide Anon could have been disappeared. I don't know. I worry about that sometimes. That Regicide Anon got disappeared as well. Because especially if they knew these videos were real when they posted them or had a reason to believe it, like, I'd be very scared if I was Regicide Anon. Okay. Yes, the United States government owns us. Yes, I got my PC back up and running. It looked like it was a false alarm. It related to my power supply was failing, it looks like. So I didn't lose any data, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, I think that some of them might have waived their rights to sue with the settlement. But if this is new evidence that was previously unknown, it might open the door back up to the lawsuit. They appealed in the United States government, and then the Supreme Court declined to hear it. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know all the implications of that. But I would bet that if new evidence comes forward, that opens the door back up. Lulu's doing great. Thank you for asking. I think that probably the best explanation I have for who leaked the videos is that Edward C. Lin showed them to one of his like Taiwanese counterparts, and that they leaked them onto the internet because they saw it and they were like, holy shit. And they leaked them to the internet. And then Edward C. Lin gets arrested and he's like, wait, what? And it turns out that the videos that he thought he was leaking to his friend ended up getting on the internet. He may not even have known as well. But definitely comes originally from Edward C. Lin. There's just too much evidence. I'm not hosting anything at the Cosmic Summit, but I will be there hanging out. And I'll probably be in one of the classrooms, they call it, hanging out with the cool people, talking about advanced science and stuff like that. Wait, the USS Hasley was spotted in the South China Sea. No, they're not planting debris in the South China Sea. They'd have to be in the South Indian Ocean. Also, if they are planting debris in the South Indian Ocean, like a lot more people are going to be wondering why they're throwing debris into the South Indian Ocean. How do they get it to sink as well? I don't think there's any chance they can plant the debris. Yeah, we got a lot of people on tonight. Okay, guys. Kimberly Jones says, I'll marry you, Ashton. I have to get divorced first, but I'm working on it. No, Kimberly, don't get divorced. That's bad. Why do you think the defense contractor people are willing to talk about this tech now? Like, why is it all finally coming out? Now, that's a really good question. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think the Salvatore Pais patents got out there, and then we've been seeing this escalation of disclosure. I just don't think they expected catastrophic disclosure. I don't think they expected somebody to find and start reporting on the two most incredible videos ever. I think that they were very confident that they could debunk them and have people ignoring them, and that this just made it all go faster. And I think that's why Salvatore Pais wanted to talk to me so bad, because he knew like this is maybe one of the only chances we'll ever get for like real disclosure, not some bullshit government controlled slow drip bullshit stuff like that. So I do think that there are certain aspects in the government that want the information out, because I've been told that directly. And I think there's certain aspects of the government that don't want it out. I don't know exactly who's on what side. I think that Eric Davis is somebody that doesn't want it to come out, because I think that he's somebody who absolutely knows, and he's been writing scientific papers about the technology. I think Salvatore Pais is somebody that does want it out. Other than that, my guess is it's murky, kind of like the UFO community and their bullshit middle school drama. You know, some people are on some sides, some people are dickheads on either side. Hard to say. We looked at the metadata in the videos, but that's where the satellite video on YouTube does have metadata indicating Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. But we looked through all the metadata. We can't find much more from it. Definitely seems to be a screen recording. So yeah, it's not the like original footage. They did a screen recording of the satellite database. Yeah, the Y files are great. The Y files even mentioned Salvatore Paez in the free energy episode they did. I'm going to post another clip from that as well. Okay, I think that's all for tonight, guys. Great. One more thing, I guess, here. Memory hole. Do your coworkers ever approach you? A couple coworkers, including an old coworker, did approach me, and they were like, "Hey, are you the same Ashton Forbes that's been talking about the MH370 stuff that I used to work with?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." For the most part, very few do, but every person that I talk to in general about this is like very open to it. In fact, where I bought these shirts, I talked to the guy and he was like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "You got to give me your Twitter account, give me your YouTube channel, whatever." If he's watching right now, it would be hilarious. So yeah, like usually everyone wants to know more and more about it. And I love talking to people about it. It's cool. Justice for Amy Eskridge. Yeah, I agree. Amy Eskridge, whatever happened to her, whether or not it was suicide or not, like, I wish she was here to see this happen. I wish Thomas Bearden was here to see this happen. Can you imagine if Thomas Bearden was alive right now, guys, to watch this going on? God, that would be awesome, man. That'd be real awesome. What are you expecting getting this information out there? I want to force the government to issue a statement before Ocean Infinity goes and does their search in November, just in case they try to plant some debris or bullshit like that. So I'm going to put pressure on the AARO now. I might email them again, although since they sent that weird response a month ago, I've sent them 3 emails and they haven't replied to any of them. Definitely feels like they're being directed to not talk to me anymore by the Pentagon and the DoD, because somebody was probably like, "Yeah, stop looking into that." We have no answer, because they can't even gaslight. That's the thing. Like, they can't even, they'd have to just objectively lie. That's the only thing they could do at this point. We've got too much evidence. Do I think the passengers are alive? I don't know. Maybe some of them could be alive. It is possible. If so, though, they're probably in witness protection, which means it's like going to be impossible to find them. Pretty sure once you go into witness protection, you never come out. Appreciate your time, says Alex. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can check out my interview with Eric Hecker. That was a really good one. Talking to him about Antarctica and the HARP stuff, and he also didn't know about superfluids. There's 450,000 gallons or something like that of helium-3 in Antarctica, which is like, that's extremely dangerous. Why do they have that? And he says that they use it for some reason related to like the ELF or one of the detectors that they have there. And superfluids are Bose-Einstein condensates. So that's a really weird thing that they have hanging out there. Definitely seems like there's a specific reason for that. Thanks, Trev. Appreciate the kind words. Make sure you guys are following the YouTube channel. Make sure you're following me on X. I think that's where we'll stop for tonight, guys. So tomorrow we'll look at the science. I've got a lot of science reading to do. I'm going to do that tonight, and it should be great. No, I'm not doing any stand-up comedy. I would be like one of those like dickhead stand-up comics. Like, here's the thing, guys. Like, I'm not the nicest guy in the world. I never claimed to be, ever. I'm just a guy that fights for the truth. That's it. Right? If you don't like me, you don't have to like me. I'm not trying to get everybody to like me out there either. I'm not trying to be a dude that everybody loves, you know? I think that a lot of people, you can't please all the people all the time. You can just do what you do, be yourself, and the people that are interested will gravitate towards you. We are MH370X, guys. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful night. I'm going to play us out with the MH370 song. Peace, everyone. Love you.
It's H370 until you do some research. Don't talk to me. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. Your opinion, it means squat to me.
It's MH370. Not all heroes wear capes. I wear glasses to see. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. The trolls hate seeing me succeed, but guess what? H370.